Evening, everyone. Hope
Evening,
everyone's well. Unfortunately, like I say, I was meant to do a live last weekend, but as you probably already all know, obviously I lost my mum and all that lot a while ago, and it was Mother's Day weekend, so I didn't quite feel up to it, unfortunately. So the lives come back this weekend, and just as a nice treat for you all, there is a quiz going to be happening about an hour into the show. It is correlated, and I hope I will say it later in the show so people that do join later. It's all correlated for now. See how it goes. See if you guys like it, whether you want it more or not, or we could take it from there. Because it's took a bit of time to get everything set up properly, and that's why I haven't had time to put the mugs of the live there, or however you call it. So, how's your weekend going so far, Daz?
All right, it's not really started yet. I've been at work today, so the weekend starts tomorrow.
Oh, works on a weekend.
Desperate man. Trust me, Dave, it wouldn't be my choice. I was only working because my lad wanted to earn a bit of extra money, so we did a big pressure washing job between us, and it's about killed me.
Well, as long as you stayed dry, I would say stayed dry, but pressure washing.
My feet weren't dry, that's for sure.
And then we've got a good evening from Vicky at Bubble and Fins. Good evening, Vicky. Hope you're well.
Vicky.
And a hi from TJ Noob. I think you're a new person, so thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Evening, Nancy. Hope you're well.
Evening, Ash and Chris.
How are we all doing? Good evening, the Ginger Pond Keeper. I saw your last video when you got them new fish, and you actually had Simon to come over to yours from VS Fisheries, and I bet that would a day to remember for you, because when I used to do all the carp fishing stuff that I don't at the minute, his knowledge when it comes to the ponds and his fish and all that lot is second to none. So I bet you had a great afternoon. You what, Daz?
I missed that one. I've seen most of his videos. What fish did he get? Were they commons or mirrors?
I think I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I think he got a mirror, but it was on the menu. Oh, and he's gone. I believe it was a C4 mirror, but he thought it was meant to be, which is 4 summers old. But I think he was meant to get a 2 summer old, but because they were messing about and whatever, he forgot that he bought a bigger fish and thought it was an error at their end. But it turned out it was him. So it was a nice big chunky fish. They were quite a nice watch. So thank you very much. I got good evening, Andy. Good evening, Chris. Hope you're well. I hope you like the new intro. Yeah, because you're in it now.
Where was that film, Dave? There's some nice fish there.
The first part where Chris Masters and everybody will know it is Koi Masters, and then the second one we're at Wakefield Koi, because what I've done is a few of the videos that I've just put them together for a nice little intro for the Saturday Night Live, something a little bit different. And then the Ginger Pond Keeper C4 common, but was meant to be a 3 summer, 67 cm,
wow,
13.5 pounds.
Sure.
Yeah, so imagine that going in your pond.
Yeah.
And then,
let's hope the otters stay away.
Oh God. I won't say the person's name, but you might have seen it on his on his Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok, whichever one it was on anyway. And that guy got really bad by otters. That's why I like otters. Fingers crossed, rating on nowhere near me.
It's a scary thought, though, Dave, because when you think about it, the otters travel along drainage ditches. That's their main sort of highway. There's quite a few of us. Our ponds are close to a drainage ditch. And it makes you think twice.
And then we've got from Mark Chills. Evening, Dave and Daz and everybody. Thank you very much. Evening, Andy's Koi Puddle. Hope you're well. And then Chris put, hi, Vicky. Hope to see you on tonight for an update. You said you would. Just teasing, no pressure. Well, anybody on my show is welcome. All you have to do is click that blue banner, come on, and then I'll set you backstage and I'll bring you on. And then, as she said there, love the new intro. See, there you go.
Yeah,
I knew you would when I was making it. I'm like, she's going to love this intro when it comes on. Yeah. I thought it would have time to get rid of the Christmas theme. We're sort of in March now, so I had to remake it. There's only so much Christmas time you can get away with. And then, good evening, Jigsy. As I said, I have to do that every time now because I said I would. Yeah. But yeah, hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. And yeah, we've got 19 watching. So there we go. We've got Jamie saying, hello, Dave and Daz. Hope you're well. Yeah, not doing too bad. I thought I had the start of the signs of parasites earlier. So I had a lemon hour wacky just clamped up on bottom. I thought, please no, not now, not now. Check pond temperature. It was only about 8 degrees, and I thought it's not even 10. You can only really treat for flukes, I believe. That's below 10. And then just went out, did filter clean, top pond water up, and then it was just swimming about. It was the first one to have a smallish little feed. I'm like, must be just temperature.
You're not scrape, just in case.
I didn't scrape, no, because I thought at back in my mind, if the other fish were doing similar things, I thought I might have, but that was the only fish that was doing it. So I thought,
yeah,
is it just temperature or is it not? And then when I fed them, that was it. It won't clamped again. I went back out later in the afternoon, and it won't clamped again.
Yeah, it's normally if they're flashing that they've got parasites. That's a pretty good indication.
It normally is, isn't it? That's normally when you're like, oh. But thankfully,
a bit of pipe work in your pond.
Oh, don't even go there. So, I was speaking to Vicky earlier today, and I had to turn my UV off on my pond so I could clean Nexus. And so my backy shower still turned off. I've got a bit of 40mm pipe out of backy shower, so I can just connect a rubber boot to it. So as I was bending down, wallop straight on my head on 40mm pipe. I'm like, ow, ow. She was just like, what's up with you? I'm like, you see that bit of pipe out there on backy shower? She went, yeah. I said, I've just banged my head on that. And you could just see a circle mark up here.
You have to wear a crash helmet next time, Dave.
So you got to make sure you're careful when you're turning stuff off and on again. And yeah, not long now. 3 days to spring.
Roll on spring, roll on summer.
I thought the spring were 20th of March. I thought it was.
I'll take 3 days' time. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sooner the better.
It is sooner the better. But the way today's been, it has been a bit cold, but we've had blue skies, a bit of sunshine. Yeah. And that's when everybody loves to go out, check on the fish. Yeah. Yeah. Fish feeding well, and the dome is in. Ooh. Nice one. That's what it's about. You did it, like I say, it's just with these sort of temperatures, you just got to be careful at how much you're feeding. Like I got half an handful, and I only give them a quarter of that just because they weren't really interested at first, and I thought I'm gonna have to scoop it back out, but no, that was it. Then that lemon hour wacky that I said, but clamp just went boom. Oh, the weird. Sometimes I suppose koi can be quite weird.
So, never mind. Sometimes, all the blooming time.
And that's to you, Aaron. Fuck off. It's on about rugby. That's all.
It's only a game.
Yeah. And then Vicky didn't laugh much when he showered on me. Oh God. Oh, that was funny. Yeah, 20th of March, Dave, is the first day. So there you go. So it's just around the corner. So have you got out planned for farm for this spring or out?
Yeah, we're having a bit of a fish sale over Easter. Trying to move on some of the Tosai, make room for this year's fish, because at the moment I haven't got space.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a battle, moving fish around, trying to find space.
Yeah. unless you've only got one pond with about 9 fish in, or
Yeah.
soon to be 10, it's not so bad then. But I bet you don't even know how many fish you've got, do you?
Well, no, it's not just fish. I've got a bloody pond full of axolotls. I'm looking to do some fancy goldfish breeding this year again. So yeah, space is going to be at a premium. I'm looking to build some more ponds, but that probably won't be till about July, till it's warmed up a bit. And I'm going to need the space before then.
But you never know. Makahaku might be coming from the DKF. You never know, do you? Just have to see what happens, because the way the Bendigo has grown in the 3 or 4 months ago, the way that's grown in that tank, marvelous. So another one might be getting added. But why not? Because when I checked pond, I checked the Matsuba that I won for the charity event, and that it hasn't grown, but the grey scaling on it are actually starting to pop a little bit more. Just hopefully this season I can get a bit more growth on it, but depends if we have a summer, doesn't it?
You can have the pick of the crop, Dave. I'll even let you have a look through the Dineches.
There you go. See, might even be able to film it for you and see if you lot can pick the same one as what I might pick.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then Jamie's put, are you looking forward to the spawning season to start, Daz?
Yeah, can't wait. Really can't wait this year. We've got a lot of different spawns lined up. And we're going to have a go at hand spawning as well. So that should be fun.
Yeah,
I mean, that massively increases the amount of spawns you can do. Because from one female, you can potentially do half a dozen different spawns using different males.
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it?
And you've got the degree of certainty when you're hand spawning, because you know exactly what you're mixing.
Well, like you say, you've got a trial and error.
Remember to label them up right.
yeah, that might. Well, where's this fish? Is it that one or that one? Well, it could be either 6 of them, but it's definitely that female. But it could be one of them.
It's when you turn around and knock all the name tags off with the net pole, and you think, "Oh, damn it, which tag was which?"
And then you got ANC saying, "Daz, have you managed to get a male Kahaku or a Sankey yet Japanese?"
I've got a Japanese Sankey, but I don't know whether he'll. Well, I've got he's a Sakai, the Deutsch one. I've got Sankey, but I don't really want to cross Deutsch with scaled. But I got one from Doc Coy. I'm not sure whether he'll be big enough yet though.
And if you haven't checked out,
if I haven't, then I'm still going to keep looking. That's my mission, to get a male Kahaku. Every time I buy one, it ends up being a bloody female.
Yeah, that's Daz's luck, isn't it? Every time.
5 females.
But if you haven't seen Doc Coy, go check him out. Or there's Gaz's Koi Pond. He's done a video at Doc Coy, and so has Vicky at Bubble and Fins. So go and check them 2 channels out. Check that video out, and then you get to see the full picture and might even pay him a visit.
Yeah. Yes, place Doc Coy.
And then Vicky's put up there for Daz's spring sale coming up this bank holiday weekend at the end of March at Daz's Koi Farm. Contact Gaz or Daz for more information. Do you know how much of a mouthful it is to say Gaz and Daz when half the time you get it mixed up?
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody is interested, then like I say, contact Gaz or Daz, like Vicky's just put there, because it'd be nice, to see people there like it was at the last Bendigo Grow On event over an awesome day.
The fish, they're going to be pretty reasonable price. I'm just looking to move as many on as I can. So if people want any quantities, then I'll do discounts for multiple purchasers.
Yeah, it's just to help you out, and it helps you progress through the hobby as well. And then, like backing up ANC's question, then you might be able to get a male Kahaku or a Sankey then as well.
Yes.
Where in Nottingham you might pop round for the event. Well, like I say, if you message Daz or Gaz, then they'll be able to discuss it more with you. So,
yeah, I'm pretty handy. I'm 5 minutes off the motorway, so easy to get to.
And then you got
Yeah,
Marcus
just hit me
saying
up.
lots of bargains.
Yeah.
I worked on a trout farm for a couple of years back in the 80s. We used to hand spawn trout. Would you say it's the same or slightly different, Daz?
I'd say it's exactly the same. Yeah. Well, same principle. Yeah. Mind you, I think with the trout, I think that those guys tended to use more hormones, injections to spawn the fish, whereas it's a little bit trickier with koi because you've got to wait up all night until they start spawning, which I think is normally around about 4 a.m. And as soon as they start proper spawning, then you'll whip the females out and the males and sedate them and start hand spawning them, unstripping them. So yeah, it's a bit of a ball ache. You've got to be up all night. But if you time it right, you've got enough fish in your spawning pool. It make it worth your while. If you get say half a dozen females to spawn in a night, that's a lot of potential spawns you've done in one evening.
Yeah,
so yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it.
Trying to get them all done in one evening or one night will be
well, I think that's
amazing.
A stretch to get them all done, but if we could get them done in sort of 2 sessions, then yeah, I'd be happy bunny.
And then you'll just see Daz then like, I can't do a live like this. I'm tired. Yeah.
No, I just fall asleep on the live as usual.
Yeah. Show some love. Thank you very much, Jigsy. And then Marcus has put there, Daz, what varieties are going to be available?
Oh, God. There's loads. There's Kahaku, Sankey, Kikasui, Asagi, Chagoy. There's loads. Various different Deutsch fish. I've got some from me Miracarp spawn, some sort of crossers. They're quite interesting, actually.
As long as they don't look like Terry and Jerry, but all good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so a load of different...
good mixture.
And as I said, ANC is obviously you must have not had your speakers on at that point because I've trying out a new thing, which a quiz that'll be happening in about half an hour, 40 minutes time. Because I'm trying out a quiz, I didn't quite have time to do the live mugs, unfortunately. So hopefully the quiz will live up to your expectations instead of the mugs. Fingers crossed. And then it'll be great to then, when it's done, to have the feedback, whether you want more of them or not again. But it's a different way. It's not the same sort of quiz as I did last time. This one's set up a lot better. And I've trialed it and I've tested it. And it seems to work quite well. So fingers crossed this time. Yeah. My bad. I was doing something. It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. I don't know if it's Ash or Chris, so I'll just say ANC because it's easier. Yeah. And good evening, Simon. Hope you're well. So yeah, a mixture of stuff that you'll be doing this year, and yeah, if mine ever spawn, because I think I've only got one female. If she ever spawns in pond, I'm just gonna let them do their own thing with it, and if any survive, they survive. If they all get eaten, they get eaten. Because I can't go through all the effort of them trying to do this thing, put spawn brushes in, do this, do that. Yeah, just let them do what they need to do. Yeah. But I think
each to their own. It's not for everyone's cup of tea, raising fry and spawning and everything. But I get a real buzz out of it.
I think
Christmas, like rushing to get there in the morning to see what's happened, what's spawned.
Yeah, it's one of them. You know, it's whatever everybody wants to get out of the hobby, innit? Yeah. Some people, like you said, like to spawn them. Some like to get them as little fry, grow them on, then sell them on, and
yeah,
everyone gets their own bit of it. But if mine spawn, I'll be just going down there like that. Smells like blooming ducks here. We just have eggs all over the shop. I'm like, oh my god! But I still can't remember. It's that orange. I think it's orange, white, and black koi. I can't remember what it's called. and I put it on one of my videos. That's the one that's female because it's quite a bulky fish. But I think it's only this side going into its third year this year. So I don't think she's quite ready yet. But they have spawned at about 2. They can spawn from about 2, or is it 3 years old?
Males normally around about 2 years old, and females 3 to 4. I think 4 years old is the optimum age for a female to spawn, between 4 and 7. That's when they're at the prime.
Well, there you go. So mine's probably got another season before it starts smelling like the dogs.
Yeah.
What dog? So if it's not your dog barking, it's mine just making weird noises rolling over on the floor like. So if you heard that noise, it's just the dog. I've just got dogs that are as mental as me. Oh dear. But yeah, same as Sparta. No idea. Oh, Benny Kikaku. It might be Vicky. I'll have to find the video and then put it on my next live so then people can say what it might be or what it might not be.
It must be something like that, Dave. If it's a show or a Sankey, you'd know.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not a shower or a Sankey or all like that. Because it's even got the around the eyes. Why am I shutting my eyes? Around the eyes, it's got the black circles as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be Benny Kiku because they do have that.
Yeah, so it might be. Like I say, some of them in my pond. It's my partner that's picked them. I like that one. Like you said on live last time, it's only if she's got to look at them, she'd rather have something she wants rather than something I want. So pond's a bit 50-50 with what we want in there. But it's one of them, innit? Every pond's slightly different and every koi is different. And I think that's what makes it quite intriguing, is this hobby. Yeah. So I know I was going to wait a bit longer, but I'm getting a bit on edge with it. Is anybody in the comments want to start the quiz, or should I leave the quiz a little bit later? And if you want it a bit later, has anybody got any topics of conversation you want us to talk about, or get the quiz done and get it out the way so we can see what people think? Or if anybody does want to join me and Daz, you know what to do. Just click the link, jump backstage, and then you'll be on. And also, Chris, when is the koi show in America? Because that will be mint to see when you video it. Because I know that's coming up soon, isn't it? I saw it on your thumbnail. I just haven't had a chance to watch video yet. So, come on, people in the comments. You decide whether you want a topic to talk about or discuss, or whether you fancy a bit of a go at this quiz and see how well it goes down.
I've got one for you, Dave.
Go on.
I'm thinking of I've had 1 or 2 fish this year, as I think most people have, that have had carp pox, and it really winds me up because there's nothing you can do for it, really. I mean, it's no biggie. It's not like it's going to kill them or anything. It's just ugly and horrible to look at. So I was talking to the missus about it, funnily enough, because she works at health food shop, and she was saying it's because it says it's herpes virus. She says, well, they sell stuff for treatment of, what do you call it? It's not herpes in people. It's cold sores.
Yeah.
And lysine is the main thing. That's one of the key amino acids that helps prevent from getting the cold sores, the herpes virus. So she says, why don't you try some of the powder, because it's like a protein powder and it's 80 or 90% protein, so it's good for the fish anyway.
Yeah.
And it contains, I think, 5.8 grams of lysine. So I thought, well, as an experiment, I might put a few fish in a tank that have got carp pox, treat them with this food just to see if it makes a difference.
Yeah,
just as an experiment, because that'd be interesting if it did clear it up.
It would be, and it'll be probably a revolution for people that, you know, like it was said on Gaz's live, 18 plus degrees is normally when carp pox tends to disappear. But if the more stubborn ones that are still there, if your experiment might work, It'd be good because my Snow White Asagi's got a bit on its tail and it drives me nuts. But
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do, is there?
No, I mean, you can't remove it without damaging the fish or leaving it open to secondary infection. So, yeah, it's just a case of putting up with it. But yeah, it looks horrible.
And then a strange thing happened. I've been feeding the starlet sturgeon over winter months on high protein food every day. I have also been smashing them. Thing is, the fish have never looked as good.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Is I think I touched upon it on one of my other previous lives when my food that I used is there were only 2% difference between the wheat germ and the normal food I was using. So I think mine's about 28%, and this one was like 26 or 24. So there wasn't much difference. So yeah, with the protein, you've just got to be careful with the temperatures, haven't you? Compared to your thing, if they're wanting a little bit of food, then it's all down to your personal koi keeping, whether you think you can feed your fish. I would just, personally recommend just a little bit, like I fed mine today, just a quarter of a handful. And if they don't eat it, then they're not interested and just scoop it back out again.
I mean, at the end of the day, Dave, it's been a pretty mild winter. We haven't had ridiculously cold temperatures. So a little bit of your normal protein food, I don't think it does them any harm. So long as you don't go chucking loads in, it's just enough that they can eat quickly and digest. And obviously, if the forecast is going to be really cold, don't give them any. But if you're on a bit of a mild spell, I don't see any harm. I mean, me and Gaz have been giving ours protein food all through the winter. I mean, we have for the last few years. Never had any issues with the fish. Fish haven't been dropping dead or suffering or anything. So, yeah, it's one of those. I think it's down to personal preference whether the wheat germ really makes that much difference. And when you break it down and look at it, there isn't protein-wise. There's not a lot of difference between the two foods.
No,
they're only a couple of percent.
Yeah, because that's what it was with mine. I had run out of coffee. When I had a look at mine and we were discussing it, there were only like 2 or 4% difference between my normal food and the wheat germ food. So it's not going to make a big difference. But as long as your fish are happy with it, Jamie, and they're eating it and they're still happy and they're thriving, then you're doing something right with your pond, aren't you?
With the koi's anatomy as well. I mean, you feed them the pellets, like 12 hours later, it's coming out the other end. So it's not like it's going to be stuck inside them for weeks and weeks and weeks on end because they don't have a stomach.
No. And as Simon Shears said there, wouldn't 90% protein be redundant as koi can't consume?
Well, they'll just process food. It'll come out as protein in the water.
Yeah, because that's sometimes how you get that bit of tint in your water, isn't it? So
and that's how you can tell as well. If they're having a bit too much, then it's like bubble bath in your bloody pond.
Yeah, you start seeing all foam at size, and you're like, oh, too much protein.
You mean about this food I'm talking about? What it is, it's a fine powder, and what I'm talking about is putting a dusting of it on normal food. So I'm not feeding them that exclusively. It's like an additive.
Yeah, it's like putting it on
the carp box. Yeah.
Well, it's like your fishing bait when you're trying to get that extra mix or something, and you mix it with your pellets. That's what you're doing, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, that the protein side is immaterial, really. It's more about getting the lysine inside the fish to see if that will make a difference. I don't know if anyone's ever had an experience of trying feeding the fish lysine in the past, but if they have, I'd be interested to know.
Well, if anybody does have, then it will be interesting to know because, or if not, then it's an experiment that probably people might be interested in. And an ANC there. I've been doing bits in the garden today. The koi have got more than they should have. That's the only thing when you start doing stuff in garden. You're like, oh, just check on fish. Oh, just give them a little bit. Oh, look, they're wanting more. That's the only thing. You've got to be a bit careful at this time of year, haven't you, with how much you feed. But it's all down to personal preference. If the fish want it, you give it them and they can digest it, no problems.
Yeah.
Plus the size of your car, you'd be happy anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Max, but my still only eats frozen foods, bloodworms, etc. Mike, I have gobbled it up with him every day. Well, that's the thing. When I put some cubes in tank with Bennygoy, that's near enough taking it is taking a full cube by itself. It's only like for 12, 13 cm. It's even having 6mm pellets, and it's not even thinking twice.
Yeah.
And then Jigs is there. I think it's good to take them off the food for a few months. Anyway, conditions them ready for a heavy feeding season. This is what it's about. Everyone has different opinions on whether it's right to keep feeding them all year round, temperature depending, or give them a few months off. So whatever that koi keeper wants to do with their pond and what they want out of it. Because mine have only been fed about 4 times or 5 times since Christmas because the temperatures have been a bit up and down, or they haven't been at about 8, they've been a bit lower. But it's each to their own. If they're wanting it, you can give it them, can't you?
It's whatever people are comfortable doing, isn't it, at the end of the day? I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, I've never heard of anyone losing fish through the winter through overfeeding or incorrect feeding.
And say, if they're moving, I'm feeding.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But it's not the fish, it's the filters at this time of the year. It is.
Yeah.
Because you start feeding too much, your filter can't cope with it, and then you start fighting against ammonia, nitrites, and you're getting high spikes, and then it's just a pain in the bottom, innit, to trying to get back on top of it, and then you try and increase your feed, which we've touched upon on other lives. It's just a minefield sometimes.
Yeah.
But each koi keeper knows their own pond better than the next.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you've got to put something in your pond to give the bacteria something to feed on. Otherwise, you're starting with nothing, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I think that's why you've got all them filter start gels and pond balls and pond bombs to help kickstart that filter for the season, or kickstart your pond when you start a new pond. But soon see, because if I can earn enough money this year, then I might see if I can build a second pond with permission. And I'm doing side eyes because you sat over the other side of the room. That, but then it'll help with quarantining stuff, like, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
or a grow on.
Yeah. I think it's a personal choice. The owners know their
exactly.
Yeah. They do, Chris. I can't disagree with you there, because I agree with you 100%. Slow and steady with the food wins the race. It is. Like we've gone into a bit of depth on it, or I've touched upon it in other lives. You've got to feed so much, and then you see what your levels are, and if everything's coping well, increase your feed, and then you just got to keep that balance until you get it to the optimum that you want. I've been cleaning the filters every 3 days, by the way. My God, you must be throwing in some right food then.
Yeah.
Mine only getting fed about once a week at a push. I'm still cleaning filter once a week. Or sometimes I might push it to 10 days if I'm not feeding that much, but I wouldn't let it go no longer. So it's always better to stay on top of your cleans, because then you're still preparing yourself for summer when everything's feeding heavy, and then you obviously clean your filters out a little bit more, and it's suppose that's when a drum, even though they're expensive, comes in quite handy. And then tell you what, you guys in the comments, do you think we should start the quiz? Because we spent a bit of time and effort on this, and hopefully you guys can like it.
Yeah, get on with it, Dave.
Come on then, let's see what happens. So what I'll do is save that. So I need to host it. Don't worry, I'm just working in the background on it, so then everybody can come in. Random questions. Of course, now I just need to mute that. Copied. So this is the link. So you have to click on the link, create your name on it, and then I'll share my screen so then everyone then can see the actual bits. But it would be nice to get a few people. So we've got 25 watching. So it'd be nice to have a few people on. Like I say, just click that link and then just follow the instructions when you're on there, which I believe just type in your name and then click enter for it. It should be a decent quiz. And that's the link which is in the chat, because I shall just present, share screen. In fact, no, I'll leave that like that until we get a few in. We got Jigsy in. Come on. Spent a lot of time and effort on this. It's quite a good quiz. There's 22 questions, and I think it'd be quite entertaining and probably a few surprise questions in there for you. So
yeah, they've read a few out to me today, and it does sound good.
We've got 3. Come on. We need at least 10. We've got 25, surely. Come on.
What's the price for the winner, Dave?
Well, we'll have to see. They've got to get 100% for me to even think about a price, because that makes it slightly harder.
Yeah,
So we've got 3.
Gonna be a winner.
We've got 4. Come on. For a bit of fun on a Saturday night, why not have a bit of a quiz? And good evening, Dino. Hope you're well. I've just seen your post there with your lemon symbol. Just doing a quiz, Dino, and that's what the link is there to do a Koi quiz. There's 22 questions, if I remember off the top of my head. A lot of thought's gone into them, and just want to see how well it goes. And yeah, if people can get 100%, then there might be a prize. There might be, but some of them might. Just got to wait and see, haven't you? So come on, we've got 4.
Everyone's going to be Googling the answers now, Dave.
This is the thing. They don't know what the questions are, you see.
Yeah.
So come on, we've got 27 watching, and we've got 4. Come on, we could do better than 4. Come on. It took me a lot of time to put this together. So I'll tell you what, we need at least another 4. So then there's a bit of competition, because it even shows you the points that you get between a lot of you as the game progresses. So come on, there's 27 now. I would, but I don't know F all about Koi. Yeah, but Dino, this is the thing. It's for a bit of fun, and you never know. You might know a bit more than what you think, or if not, you might learn a little bit, because
it's multiple choice.
At least you'll have a bit of fun. And if you don't know, then you'll get to know, because it'll be quite good. Because even when I was doing it, even when I went to redo the quiz myself, even though I knew the answers, I still got a few of them wrong. There we go. Come on.
Choice, isn't it, Dave? So
come on, guys, give it a go for Dave. Yeah, please do. How many have we got now? 4. Come on. We'll have a few more. Because, like I said, Daz would have a go as well, but unfortunately, he can't, because he's on here. Is it a correlated quiz? Yes, it is. And obviously, if the quiz goes down very well, then they will have to vary, obviously, because there's only so much Koi related questions that you can come up with, because I have spent practically the whole afternoon putting this quiz together. Yeah. Even though it's only 22 questions, some of them took a bit of time. There we go. We've got Dino in now.
Questions, mate.
Pardon, mate. So come on. Just at least one more then. One more, and then we can get it set off. And all I would say is you lot can think out loud, but me and Daz can't say a word. Because I've got a feeling Daz will go, it's that one. That one.
I'll zip it.
Yeah. Right. Come on then. Got one more. Come on. One last chance, because then otherwise I shall start it anyway. But it would be nice to have one more at least. So we have got 5 in. Oh, typical. Oh, God. Tino's put a lemon outside of his name on the game as well. Right, so come on. Oh, thanks. Come on, guys. Even if it's shit, Dave put the effort in. Come on. Oh, cheers, Jigsy. Thanks very much. Thanks for the
It's a good quiz
enthusiasm.
he's done. It really
Why
is.
is this muted on me? Is it because I've done that? I don't know. No, it's not that. I don't know why it's muted. I bet nobody can hear me now for some reason.
I can hear you.
If I do that and then unmute, we should be able to hear. Or can you hear me and not Daz? Because I can't hear Daz now for some reason.
Yeah. It says the host is on.
No, I can't hear Daz. I don't know if anybody else can.
Damn it, Dave, what are you messing at?
This is what it is, because he wants to play the game and he knew he had to be quiet. Yeah, because it says muted on there, but why? No, I don't get it. But just a quick thumbs up. Can you hear me can you hear me talking? It was so you must be able to all go this end, Dave. Yeah. We can hear Daz. Oh, it must have just been then. Yeah. I wasn't being funny a lot. I was just saying, even if people don't like it, just show your support. I know I'm only taking piss, Jigsy. Right. So we have got 5. So we'll see how it goes. Present, share my screen. Share screen. Select which one. Entire screen. Allow. So there we go. So if I remove me and well, can you get right? Yeah. Hopefully you can see that all right, because now I can't see the chat. So we'll start. I should have probably says we'll start in a few minutes. What is the most expensive koi sold for? $1.8 million, $18,000, $8 million, or $1.6 million? Get your question. Get your answers in within the next 14 seconds. There we go. And we got 60% that got it right. And at least we're gaining a bit of knowledge. Look at that. Oh,
Vicky was quickest.
On to the next one. Get ready. Here we go. Although, I might not get the spelling right. Although koi fish are the national fish of Japan, where did they originate? Sorry, my spelling's not great. Cardiff, Chile, Chicago, or China? So, although koi fish are the national fish of Japan, where did they originate from? And everyone got that right. I thought that might have thrown a few people off. See, now I can see everyone starting to get that little bit like, I wanna be up there. Well done, Vicky. So far, do koi have eyelids? I don't know. Unsure, no, or yes. So do koi have eyelids? I don't know. Unsure, no, or yes. Just waiting for one more person to click it, because I didn't know it showed me that. There we go. Look at that. We're all doing so well so far.
Yeah, level pegging. So
on to the next question. What is the Japanese term used for a 7-year-old koi? Tosai, Nanasai, Juosai, or Gosai? This one might throw a few people. But it is a very good one. Oh, one person correct. Even I got that wrong when I did the quiz myself.
Well done, Vicky.
No, it's Nanasai.
Just so you don't know much about koi, Dino, you're doing all right, mate.
What was the name of the most expensive fish ever sold? Named John Legend, M Legend, T Legend, or S Legend? So what was the name of the most expensive koi fish ever sold? fish ever sold. Sorry, John Legend, M Legend, T Legend, or S Legend. S Legend it was.
Yeah.
So I'm quite new to this whole Sin This quiz.
John
Well done,
Legend was the
ANC.
offspring.
Well done, Dino. Getting ready for question number 6. How old was the oldest koi in the world? 220, 126, 226, or 215? So, how old was the oldest koi in the world? 220, 126, 226, or 215? Well, we're getting there. It's bits that even I didn't even know. And hopefully with this quiz, we're also learning a bit too, because I was learning while doing the quiz. What colour are Showa fry born? Are they born red? Are they born white? Are they born black? Or are they born brown? Which is the first colour of the Showa fry. Luminette, you were all quick on that one. Well done. And to be fair, I didn't think it was the answer. It was.
Oh, Dave.
What two varieties of koi, when bred together, produce kikikuryu? Hawawaki and Kahaku, Hawawaki and Shisui, Kumonru and Deutsch Kahaku, or Kumonru and Kikisui? So what two varieties of koi, when bred together, produce kikikuryu? Hawawaki and Kahaku, Hawawaki and Shisui, Kumonru and Deutsch Kahaku, and that's a mouthful. Well done. I'm hoping you can see this as well, but I can't see it until it's finished. What does the Japan flag look like? Black with a red circle, white with a red circle, red with a white circle, or white with a red circle? Yeah, I had to put in a fourth one. What does the Japan flag look like? Black with a red circle, white with a red circle. Well, you've already answered. Well done. And that was a trick question. And I thought that might catch a few people out. What is the largest koi in history? 105 cm, 107 cm, 114 cm, or 122 cm? So what is the largest koi in history? 105 cm, 107 cm, 114 cm, or 122? Well done. The son knows because he was practicing with that.
Well,
Well done to everyone that got it right, and that's just my son in the background. Right, on to question 11 of 22. Do koi have a stomach? I don't know. Yes, no, or unsure. Do koi have a stomach? I don't know. Yes, no, or unsure. Well done.
Wait, so many people are playing?
Yeah. And the next one. Question 12 of 22. What does DT stand for in DT koi? Shh. Dave Tony, Dave Tax, Dave Tony, or Dave Total? So, yeah. Oh, here we go. There we go. Everyone got it right. I tried throwing you guys off by spelling Tony with an I and Tony with a Y, but none of you fell for it. Good one. Question 13. What colour is key on koi? Yellow, red, black, or white?
Yellow.
What colour is key on koi? Yellow. You. Oh, good guess.
Yeah, everyone got that.
You all got the answer from my son, didn't you? You're listening for him. Aha. Shh. Son, shh, don't be telling the answers. Question 14. No, shh. Where is Motoguru placed on a koi? A pectoral, dorsal, cuduncle, or anal? Pectoral, dorsal, cuduncle, or anal? My partner's laughing in the background, sorry.
So childish.
Well done to the people that got it correct. On to the next one. Question 15. What does TDS stand for? Total dissolved solids, total disgusting solids, total dissolved sugar, or total dissolved salt? What does TDS stand for? Total dissolved solids, total disgusting solids, total dissolved sugar, total dissolved salt.
And Richard just pointed it.
Well done. On to the next one. Question 16. Where are the barbels on a koi? Top of a koi, belly of a koi, side of the koi, or on the mouth of the koi? So where are the barbels on a koi? Top of the koi, belly of the koi, side of the koi, or the mouth? Well done to the people that got it correct. The barbels are the little two that are at the bottom down here.
I didn't know that. But
So well done.
while I was practicing and I got that one wrong, so I know that.
Yeah, you do. What was the name of the oldest koi in the world? Was it Hana, Pinko, Hanako, or Tancho? So what is the name of the oldest koi in the world? And you've all got the responses in.
Did you get it right?
Hey, somebody put Pinko. Oh,
I
God.
got it right.
Go on, who put it?
I
Oh, Dino. Hey, well done, mate.
I didn't know when I guessed the yellow and I got it right.
Yeah. Collecting the prize. What year was Yamabuki first bred? In 1997, 1957, 1964, or 1984? What year was the Yamabuki first bred? 97, 57, 64, or 84? It was 1957.
Wow.
I will show the end results as well. Which one is a top fin on a koi? Is it pector, the dorsal, cuduncle, or anal? Which one is the top fin on a koi? Pectora, dorsal, cuduncle, or anal? Well done, everyone. 100% correct on that one. Next question. Question 20.
What?
Here we go. What is the white colouring called on a kahaku? Is it irisant, chiroji, sugar, or beni? What is the white colouring called on a kahaku? Irisant. You've already got it. There we go. Everyone got that correct as well. Question 21 of 22. Which Japanese breeder is famous for Gosanki? Is it Dainichi, Monotero, Sakai, or Dagoi? Which Japanese breeder is famous for Gosanki? Dainichi, Monotero, Sankei, or Dagoi?
Dang it. I guess green.
Okay.
Oh, Dino's
Well
back.
done, everyone.
Dino's back at the top.
Looking for the last question. I know it says last question. Where are the koi's teeth located? In the stomach, back of the throat, eyes, or the fins? Where's the koi's teeth located? The stomach, back of the throat, eyes, or fins? Everyone got it 100% correct. Well done,
Well,
everyone.
it was very weird. The humans that had the back of
Well done, Dino. Well done, ANC.
Yeah,
I'm Vicky
well,
from Bubble
all
and
of you.
Fins. Don't ask me why it makes these tunes, but it does. Well done to everyone.
Yeah,
View
that was good, that was
report.
Dave.
So we've got it where 5 players, 78 correct, 32 incorrect. So A and C with 82. And that, so we haven't done too bad there. So unfortunately, there's no prizes as of yet. So hopefully now, if I stop sharing, and I now close that, that now should be back to normal. Can everyone hear us now? Or is it everything work now?
Yeah.
Okay, if you talk, Dad, so I can see if I can hear you or not.
Yeah,
now.
I can hear you, Dave.
No, I can't hear you. So I'm going to have to, if you just leave and come back, and hopefully that'll work.
Okay, I'll take the hint.
Fat fingers should have been 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, there was a few tricky ones in there. Well, I thought they were slightly tricky. Yeah. 4th, feck me, I'm off to the pub. Hopefully Dad's come back in because I can't hear him for some reason. Thank you, Ian. Top class, great quiz. Thank you very much. So, what did you guys think? Is it a quiz where you can do it like once a month and take it a bit forward and make it a bit more enjoyable? Because it did take me all afternoon, but if you guys enjoy it, then I don't mind going through it. And then hopefully now I can hear Daz now.
Is that better?
I can't hear him. Oh my God. Has it done this again? Where everyone else can hear him, but I can't.
Have you unplugged me, Dave?
But I don't get why it's telling me it's muted. I don't get it. Oh my God. Why is technology doing this to me now? I don't get it. All right. 2 minutes. I'll jump off and then jump back on, and hopefully then I should be able to hear everything. If not, I'm going to have to put headphones on. So be right back. Are you sure you want to leave the studio?
Use your commercial break, Dave. He's been recording some commercial breaks today. This is a prime time to use one. What's everyone else been up to this week?
Yeah, I still can't hear you.
I can hear you perfectly, Dave. Can anyone else hear me?
Automatically adjust. Yeah. No. The mic volume full. There we go. So, what's going on? I'm still saying muted up here. Why are you saying? Yeah. There we go. Now that should work.
Is that better, Dave? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. It was on the thing that put it as muted.
The thing. I thought it was.
Yeah. Something at my end. And I'm like, oh no, please don't tell me I have to put headphones on because it's awkward as all with headphones. But yeah, how did there we go. Everyone sure that Dave live. Well done. Something nobody has done on their lives. Well, this is a thing, Dino. I did try a quiz, I don't know how long ago, but my God, it didn't go down so well. So I thought, if I try it this way around, and hopefully it'll work quite well. And seems to, everyone seems to be doing quite well.
Fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and there we go. The ANC like winners. You are, but it had to be 100% to get a prize. But I still owe you a coffee mug, so that will be sent out.
I'll donate a prize, Dave. I'll donate a goldfish.
Yeah, go and see. You can have a goldfish. But a few of them in there, what I thought were quite tricky with the name a koi that's 7 years old, because you don't normally hear what they are, and I thought
no. They're the same with the oldest koi. I had a feeling it was 226, but I wasn't 100% sure on that one.
Yeah, I had to convert it because it said it was 4 foot long. So I'm like, right,
Yeah,
4 foot
cm, 22 cm. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it worked out.
I did a 1.2 meter koi, but I thought surely some must have one a bit bigger than that. Apparently not.
how were the points done on the correct answers? Was it yes, Chris? Because if everyone gets the correct answer, the way that then you get more points is by clicking it first. Like, I know we only had 5, but out the 5, say you clicked it with 5 seconds to go, and everyone got it right, then you only get like the least amount of points, because that's how it works. It's all done on
Fastest
the time.
finger.
Yeah, fastest finger first, as somebody says on telly. I'll leave it as that.
FFF.
That lies. 226 is full of poo.
It probably is, to be honest, Simon. I mean, it's a bit more of a myth, isn't it, really? I mean...
Well, I think if I remember rightly, I think it passed away in 1976 or 77. And there is, I believe, a video on YouTube of that actual koi. I'm not 100%.
Well,
I haven't watched the video myself, so I don't know.
It's all based on growth rings on a scale that a expert is supposed to have read, and that's what his assumption is, that it's 226 years old. But that is not an exact science by any means. Reading the growth rings on a fish's scale, same as for trees, it's not, because you get 2 per year. There's lots of things that can alter it. Stress. If the fish has had a stressful year, the growth rings differ. So yeah, I'd take that with a pinch of salt. I mean, admittedly, it probably was an old fish, but 226, I think more like 80 at a stretch.
What the Google, pardon me.
That's more of a bit of publicity for the Japanese koi scene.
And Simon, I very much appreciate all your comments in the chat, but when I've got that game up, until I can get a second monitor, I can't do both, so it makes it full screen so everyone can see that as well. But next time you can join in and just click that link and done. But yeah, everyone seems to enjoy it, so it looks like it's something else that can be staying at the DT Koi. But the thing is, I can't always have, like I said earlier, koi related questions all the time. So there's so much fish stuff you could put in. So maybe eventually there might be a few general questions or a few maybe sports questions. We'll just see how it goes.
No, pond related. You don't need sports. Don't spoil it with sport.
Well, I'm just saying, because there's only not like straight away, but eventually we'll have to broaden the quiz out to other bits rather than it just always being correlated. But
it can be other fish, Dave. It can be fish in general.
It could be.
Just fish, sea fish.
So we'll see how well it goes, because like I say, some of them I didn't know. It's one of them, and see.
Yeah, me neither. Don't do rugby. Don't do football. None of them silly sports like tennis and golf and all that nonsense.
But yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm going to try and keep most of them as correlated as I can. Some of them might be, a little bit. It's only for a bit of fun anyway. So we'll see how it is. And just for Sweet Acre Koi Farm, look who we've got as a guest. She'll be giggling her head off now. There we go.
Hi. I did it. Hello, goodbye.
See, there you go. Now she's gone.
I can run now. Is it good? Yeah, super. Can everyone hear me? You've seen me? Now I'm going to run.
You're good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, I'm going to run now.
You're going to run now.
Okay. Run away.
Yeah.
Hi.
And then Jigs it. Imagine feeding that Sakakari for 227 years. Cost a fucking fortune. And then
filter cleans you'd have to do.
Yeah.
Made it.
See, there you go. I knew that would make Chris happy. Oh, heck yeah.
I made it, Chris. I was brave. I put on my big girl pants. We're okay.
But yeah, so it would actually suggested by Vicky, says, for you to try something, just try a quiz, see how well the quiz might go.
Yeah, he's telling you this, and if it was complete and utter screw up, you could all blame me.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
Because
we're
Yeah, you
to be fair, anything were better than the last quiz I did. So it's on the way up, and obviously
Oh, yeah.
everyone seems to be happy with it, so they'll be staying. And yeah, when
You're
it
very
comes
welcome, Dave. However, I can help.
to that was my birthday present. Yeah, good idea for you. Try a
Yeah,
quiz
there you go.
again.
See? Tell me I don't get you now.
Yeah.
You wait till I see you, because I do have your birthday present. It's
Oh,
actually up there.
sake.
You're in trouble.
Oh, I'm running away. I'm running.
Oh, Dave, come on.
it-
Yeah.
is it pink
When it
cricket?
comes to the football stuff, I don't follow football whatsoever. I'm a rugby league fan, not this union garbage neither. So it's not a problem, guys, because like you say, nobody's ever late to a live. Everyone's welcome at any point. Well, I'm still live. Yeah. Or something like that. I can't remember everything. But yeah, it's gone down the storm, and yeah, other than for some reason when I put that quiz on, it muted this, and then like everyone can hear Daz and I can't, and I'm like in my corner, muted. Like, what does it mean it's muted?
I
So
think you did it on purpose, Dave.
oh,
Sabotage.
Yeah,
damn
definitely.
sabotage. No, I'm not like that. Right.
No.
Right, Dave. I have to shoot. Cracking quiz, mate. Catch you on the next one. Good night, Jigsy. Time for you to go to bed, mate. That's what it is. At least I'm not the
Bed.
first one.
You're like 2 hours off, Dave. You're okay so far for your bedtime.
See. I've started it off again, Anna. Oops.
So
Right, I'm
you
gonna run
just
away.
you just throw yourself into these holes, don't you? And we just keep
Yeah.
digging for you.
Yeah.
Not a
That's
problem.
why Ainsley has started laughing. Right. I am just going to pop to
Oh, here
the
it comes.
toilet. So what I'm going to do is give these a little break. I'm going to give you a short ad break, as it's called. Head on that one. Look at how perfect the scalations are. All right. I don't. I'm just busy filming in here. Fact number 2. Absolutely brilliant. Here we go. Fact number 3. There we go. I hope that's a nice improvement rather than me being on my own. And I thought I'd just, rather than push it on other people as well as my life, I thought I'd just do a bit of an ad break. I've even called them ad breaks. But
You must have had a quick wee then. Did you run?
quick dash, push hands. Because you never know. You think, I'll make it 4 minutes. But then by the time you've done that, you're like, oh dear. I've run out. Run out of time.
ANC did want to know whether or not you was going to wash your hands. He says wash your hands.
Yes, I did, and that's exactly what I said straight away. And as Gaz said, that was the Great British Koi Show, Newark last year. And yeah, it was amazing. And that's why I thought if I put clips of that in, because the Koi shows are coming up this summer, and I thought it'd be just nice to get people into it and that. And unfortunately, Gaz, as soon as you said hi, the quiz just about finished, unfortunately. But next time I'll make sure that you're actually in the chat. 0-1. ANC won. They think they got 3 or 4 wrong.
Vicky comes
Unfortunately.
second. And then was it Dino?
Yeah, my guess, Dino. Yeah. And then Clive Steers, great quiz, DT. Took you for Warwick Davis. Oh, thanks. Cheers. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. What's so funny, Dave? No, mate. Just with what you put, you won't be no good, and you did really well. I can't remember who placed. I know Vicky finished second, and I think were you that finished third?
Yeah.
And then Jigsy were fourth, and I think Sweet Echo finished fifth. I think it was. So you did really well, Dino, and obviously, hopefully, everyone learnt a little bit along the way because.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because as it happens, Gaz did help me with a few of the questions as well, and so did
it's going to be a ringer.
And I put a few in. So we've all had our 2 pence pieces. As
In all
saying
fairness, you could discount mine because I only got in there, so you had enough numbers to run it. So you can discount mine, so everyone that else can bump up one.
So Dino comes second.
There you go. See, Dino, you came second then.
Dino, there you go.
Yeah.
Lol. Yeah, it's gone down really well though, guys.
Lemon. Goldfish Gaz. No, you Blackmore back.
Yeah. And Dino, it was good to be on this, guys. Well done again. That's twice now. You're not getting no more compliments from me. Well, this is the thing. It's a little bit of what's the word?
Fun.
A bit of fun and a bit of competition. And if you don't know, you get to know the answer, and you can look back on it, and it's always going to be there. And it's just nice because even I didn't know how old the 7-year-old Koi was, the oldest Koi. I wrote like
that one.
No.
You can learn as you do it.
Yeah.
It makes learning fun.
That's exactly what it is. And it was same with the Showa fry, because I always thought they were white, but no, they start off black, which obviously Dazzle know well.
Yeah, it's not strictly true though, because I've raised some white fry that are then turned into Kahaku, that are then later on developed Sumi and ended up as a Showa. But I would say 95% of all black fry turned into Showa.
And that's what it's all about. I learned a lot of Koi history, so I'm happy. That's what it's about. And also, Chris, you managed to get Vicky on the live too. Yeah.
I am going to have to run though because I've got a job to do apparently. So I've made my appearance. Hello, I will be here in the background, but for now I'm going to go. So, well done, everyone.
See you later.
Have you got any Bye. Have you got any parasites in your pond, Dave? Seems like everybody else has. I could possibly have Clive. Like I said earlier, is yesterday I saw me. Yeah. Oh my God. The yellowfish. The name.
Oh, you Harawaki.
That's it. That were clamped up at bottom, but then since I've cleaned the filters, done a water change, threw a bit of food in, and then that was it. It was happy as Larry. So I haven't checked, but there possibly could be. But not much you can do when you're.
I think
below
it's
10.
probably down to temperatures, Dave. I had 3 or 4 fish in one of my ponds clamped up on the bottom, and I scraped 6 different fish. Nothing, not a thing, no parasites at all. And all I can put it down to is just cold weather, because, like you said, come the afternoon, they're all swimming around on the top, eating, taking food, happy as Larry. So,
yeah, that's the other thing. As long as you know your fish, and if you think, just do a few things around your pond, and then if you still see them flicking and flashing, or still clamped up and a bit moody, then you might be able to scrape, or I did. I thought, oh God, here we go. Might have parasites, but I'll do the filter I was going to do anyway. Water change I was going to do. Bit of food, and then it were happy as Larry. And then checked on it later on, just thinking because if I'm around the pond, it might be active. No, start swimming about without rest. So
Yeah.
It was good to refresh the mind.
Yeah.
It is
True.
and it's also good knowledge to know future things or things that you forgot about. So now you're gonna have to keep on top of it. So you're gonna have to start doing your research every time I do a quiz now, aren't you? But I think I might have to down the 30 seconds to 20 seconds. So then there's no chance you can get your partner to go,
Yeah.
"Just Google this quick." Thank you very much, Gaz. See what I mean? When you've got Daz and Gaz, and then it ends up getting mixed up. It did, mate, and everyone liked it, so it was good. So, Koi Farm, you're welcome. Have you seen the Lemon Hour Wacky Boom this year? Jack has asked for loads. Tim Warrington not to blow in my own light, but I did say I'm a trendsetter.
That's it. It's all down to you, Dino.
It is, Dino. Should be proud of yourself, mate.
Yeah. I hope you're getting a percentage from all these sales, Dino.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Yeah. Dino setting trends since 90. I've never said 1895, 1985. Didn't realise you were that old, Dino. Oh God. It was about being quick with that quiz. Yeah, it is, because the quicker you are with the answers, the more points you get, which helps. Yeah. And then you guys agreed 100%. And like I say, I wanted to not get it done quick, but I wanted to get it out of the way so to see what people's thoughts were at the end. And hopefully, next time we do it, I think I'm going to do it once a month, so one normal show, then one quiz, and I'll just put Saturday Night Live quiz night on it so you know the difference. And hopefully we can get a few more than 5, because I know with first one people are a bit, but hopefully, well, like Simon Shears did then, typed all the answers in the comments, and I couldn't see none of the comments because I had it on full screen. No, mate, I don't get nothing, mate. Just treated like a class clown, like always. Oh, Dino, don't be like that, mate. Thing that might not have been popular, the more people mention it, the more popular it can become. And
we still love you, Dino.
Yeah, you're always welcome, Dino. You know that. Yeah. But yeah, it's hopefully more stuff like that to come and keep it all exciting and factual and a bit of fun, all rolled into one. Yeah, has anybody else got any? If the clown shoes fit, you lie.
You can always rely on Gaz.
Yeah, table tennis, anyone? What? To you, to me, to you, to me. Yeah. Has anybody got any questions or topics you want to ask me or Daz, or questions or anything like that? And then, while we're waiting for that, I think Cass is putting laughing faces. You want to show what you've got in your tank this time, Daz? At the side of you?
If you can see them. The koi have gone, the goldfish have moved in. I brought a few of my fancies over. Want to have a go hand spawning as soon. I reckon a couple of weeks at warm temperature, they'll be ready for spawning. They've been chasing around the last couple of days, some of the males have, so yeah, it won't be long. I love messing about with it with a fancy goldfish. Looking forward to breeding a few of them.
Well, I say it's what cat. I suppose the easiest thing is what cat you breed. You're doing axolotls, goldfish, koi.
I've always bred things, to be honest, Dave. Whether it's newts, insects, frogs, whatever. I've always been messing about with lizards and stuff.
Yeah. So if it's oak poisonous, Daz, is this poisonous? I don't want to be touching this. Yeah.
I was always bringing stuff back from holidays when we used to go on holiday. I've been smuggling back praying mantises and all kinds of stuff. Couldn't get away with it nowadays. You know, they're tightened up on the border security, but back in the old days, you could get away with anything.
Well, What's this you're trying to bring in, sir? What is this, sir? Oh,
Yeah, I bought tree frogs back. I bought all sorts back with me.
Are you part of the reason why we have border force now?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I wouldn't dream of doing it now, to be honest.
Beautiful goldfish,
Thanks,
Vicky
Vicky.
says there. And like Gaz put there, anybody who wants to join, just click the banner at the top, the blue link, click it, and then you'll be backstage and you could come on. So like I said, we've had Vicky on, we've had Gaz on, Daz. Obviously, you get me all the time. And Chris. We've had Andy at Coipon Lifestyle, Jamie at Keeping It Coy. So we've had a few, so it'd be nice to see if we can get a new face on. I keep trying to get AMC to come on, but they never do. They're always camera shy. What you like. Hey, Japan, follow. I shouldn't have brought that comment up. My apologies. I do hope to get a big YouTuber from the USA on very soon who works for Aquascapes team, just trying to sort our day out. That'd be very interesting, guys, with that. Thanks for sharing it, mate. Very much appreciated. And as per usual, Daz is eating on a live, but I can guarantee with it being a fork, it's not a trifle.
No, it's with tea.
After doing research, I'm going to get 3 high fin sharks to add to my pond. They will combat the algae problem in the front pond.
Will they overwinter all right?
I don't know. Would they eat your koi? I don't know, Chris. I've never.
They're not that kind of shark, Dave.
Well, I don't know, do I? And here we go. We've got Crafty Koi. Evening, Crafty. How we doing?
Evening, Crafty.
Very well. I want to say that was a nice little quiz. I just had a look.
It was good fun, wasn't
Thank you
it?
very much. A lot better than the first one.
Yeah.
If you remember that far back.
Oh, yeah, that was shocking, wasn't it? It was.
Yes.
Don't hold back, Crafty.
Well,
Yeah, but it's always the best way to get the best feedback is just to be honest. You can't just say, "Yeah, it was a great quiz," and then you're like, "Oh yeah, it was a good quiz. Try it again next week." And then you get people going, "Oh, for sake! Well, we're not going through this again." And
Was it that bad? Did it really suck?
yeah,
it was like pulling teeth, mate.
yeah, it was that bad, Daz. You didn't even know about it.
I'm being mean, mate.
Oh dear.
And Chris says, yes, they winter great here.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah, I thought all sharks were, not great.
Yeah. No. You had a busy day, Crafty?
Yeah, I've just got home.
Good for business.
So you've been busy selling more fish and that all day? Have you been in office?
The weather's out, isn't it? So,
yeah,
I've been out doing a lot of selling today. Couple of golden corn went. Couple of yellow monkeys went. There was a couple of nice. Well, one nice Chibinisai from Marihiro that was sold that's still in QT today. So,
what is the whole Chibinisai thing? I mean, I know roughly what they are. The short fish, are they?
Right. So it's basically Tozai that the breeders held back, but they don't send them onto mud ponds or put them into concrete heated ponds. They basically hold them in a cold water tank. So there's benefits to it where they're left, say a cold water tank in Japan in summer, it's hot, but they keep the water cool. So rather than the fish accelerating growth, which what a lot of people do these days for whatever reason, where there's a lot of this, let's heat your pond, let's push growth, to get big koi. It don't happen. They grow at a natural rate on a smaller diet, so they don't accelerate in growth. But what you find is from that they will have they will naturally develop, so the skin will grow thicker, their colours will still blossom, but it's done on a more compact scale. So there's Chibi Nisai in Japan that are 15 centimeters big.
But is that more for the sort of shows scene to keep them small? No.
I reckon I could be market leader in Chibi Nisai. Most mine are like that.
The thing is, the koi world, like over here, that so many people talk about heating ponds, pushing growth, and that to get your fish big. It's not a necessity by any stretch of the imagination, and actually, it's out of reach for most working people in the UK.
It is, yeah.
You know, and I think as much as it spins a good yarn, you know, you get the most out of your fish in a balanced heated pond with a good feeding regime. You get the most out of it, but you know, even if you keep it at 18 on a mediocre diet, you're going to get the best out of your fish at that. You're not pushing growth. You know, it's at a very, very good level for everything. So you're getting a very good balance in colour production, in length, in body, and it's probably the most steady way of growing koi. Not too fast, so you're not gonna push like a Benny plate too hard.
Yeah, stretch the pattern. Yeah,
and if you put Chibi Nisai in to a warmer pond, it's already gone through the first stage of its development with colour. So you'll find that it's quite strong. So if you do push it hard, you've lost a growing season. But if you do push it hard, they will grow quick, and you'll tend to find that the colours stay stronger. So you've got less chance of ruining a fish. You know.
Yeah.
You know,
I was just laughing then because Gas put all my koi are Chibi.
Because you bought them from Elite Koi, mate. I've seen your video.
But the thing is, Crafty, a lot of people are hung up about it, aren't they? They want to buy fish that can attain a size of like 1.2 meters, but in reality, 40 or 50 cm is all it's going to reach in their pond because the pond isn't big enough. So it's a bit of a misnomer, isn't it?
I was having this conversation with somebody that's just turning into spend money on a bit of extra money on some like higher grade koi now today. And it is one of those things, mate, where actually, you know, the question is, will this koi get big? It's like, what do you define as big? Because are you going down the route of, is it going to reach a meter? No, not in your pond. You know, are you happy with achieving 65, 70 cm? Yes. Then yes, it's got a chance of getting to that because, you know, as long as it's the right variety, most Japanese carp can get to that, you know, on its own over 7 or 8 years. But that's the bit. Throw heat in, and you get into that in 3 years. I've seen Nisai in Japan at 55 centimeters, 60 centimeters.
It is.
Yeah. At the end of the day, 65, 70 cm is a big fish still.
Yeah, and the other thing that people don't realise is if they, I'll come on to that for you. The problem is, as soon as your fish start getting to that size, you've got to feed them more in order to keep the body and to keep them looking good. You know, so.
Plus, I suppose it all depends on the size of sort of your pond. Because if you've got, I don't know, 10 fish and they're all starting to get to 50 cm, for example, you might have to start thinking, I'm going to have to move a few on because of the size of them, and obviously still increase your feeds and stuff, won't you?
Yeah, well, you're quite right. If you've got 30 tozai in a 2,000 litre pond, that's quite busy. You're not going to push growth in that anyway. They will stunt their growth quite naturally. They need space. They need food to grow. You know. a fish actually excrete a chemical in the water that will slow the growth down naturally if it's overcrowded. And I mean overcrowded, you know, which is why you hear of those people.
Yeah, it's a hormone, isn't it?
Their fish thinning the pond out so they can get maximum growth. You know, part of that is the DNA of a koi and what it's able to achieve. To come on to Simon's question, there is 22 degrees pushing. No, 22 degrees is an excellent growing temperature. It's not pushing, but it will be too hard if you're putting the food in. It will be too hard for some tozai. What you'll find is that some tozai will be fine. Some tozai you will see the colour fall off because it just cannot keep up with how hard you're pushing with that temperature, you know. So you'll see it in those that grow big, but their colour doesn't stay with it, you know. Most people will say 22, 23 is the best growing temperature, especially if you're using sake. You know?
Yeah, that's if you could get your pond to 22, because mine don't even get to 22.
Yeah, you know, it's costly as well, you know, if you don't watch it, you know. And then if you enclose your fish houses to keep the heat in, a lot of the time you're stopping the UVs from coming in as well. So not only are you damaging the colour palette by forcing the growth, you're not getting any UV penetration, you're also not helping the colour palette. So you know, it's a lot to take in.
Well, it's a balance of both in it, really.
It's not even a balance in that, mate. You know, if you're forcing something and you're watching your pocket, right, by taking something away and forcing something else, you're accelerating one thing and decreasing another. So you're actually upsetting the balance altogether. If you're pushing the heat, but you're still exposed, it's going to cost you 3 or 4 times as much in heat, you know, because there's a lot of heat dispersed. But you've got the UV light, you created a balance, but it costs you more.
Yeah.
I'm
not repeating what Gas has just put in there, but you can read the comment yourself.
Always need some good penetration. I heard he does. He likes it. Enough.
Simon Shears, I've not noticed any colour loss as of yet.
Yeah, you'll probably find it 4 to 6 months down. If you're not going to get it then, your chances are your fish will be okay.
Like you say, it's just trial and error. And I watched a video not long ago. Can't remember who it was. And when they're picking out Sansai fish, that they're looking more at the parents and the bloodlines of what they can possibly become to sort of see what they might be buying when they're out in Japan and stuff. And it was quite interesting to watch, to be fair. I learned quite a bit from it.
It's become more important the further down or the further up and advance you get into the hobby.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like we all start at 40 quid for a fish, 60 quid for a fish. You know, when you then start to build a bigger pond and you put bigger fish in and you then putting better food in and you're putting heat on, you know, the next thing is, right, okay, what fish do what? However, you don't have to spend big money to get a big fish. You know, a lot of people are tied up on Dainichi Sakai because that's the way that the koi body's going. But you'll find now that a lot of even the smaller koi dealers have, when you look down the bloodlines, you know, the original Machanovsky blood range is in most DNA, but it's so interbred now that there's no true bloodline anymore because there's you know, the generations are crossed over time and time again, so it's just got bits of everything everywhere, so there's no real true bloodline anymore. So what you'll find is that when you look at, I don't know, what Ryan was saying the other night, Yamaguchi, he always used a female Sakai for his part of his breeding partners. Always a female Sakai, right? Because that's the bone structure he likes. But that's the way that the koi are going. And you'll find that so many small time dealers, smaller on the scale, they're all using a parent stock that have got Sakai, got Dainichi. They've got to, because that's the way that the hobby is moving towards. Otherwise, you will find that they get left behind because they're not producing koi that display that body trait, i.e., big bones, big shoulders, power, thick peduncle, and size. If you think about it, right? If you go back 30 years, the koi that we're buying now at the bottom of our chain, that would be Sanzai, are GC type fish back in the 80s. Now at the bottom of the food chain with regards to quality. So they're discarding that quality now because they've developed it so much that quality is no longer the best quality. If you understand what I mean,
I know what I mean.
Like Clive's put there, use a air source heat pump from May to September, then drain it dry and store it in your shed. That's probably one of to get your most efficiency out of an air source heat pump. That's probably the best time to use it is in the summer months, because it's not costing you as much in electric. Because if I know certain air source heat pumps,
that's not an accurate statement to make at all. Really not, because if you're going to use it, for me, I would let as long as we got a good summer, unlike last year exception, right? Your waters although they fluctuate in the summer, you'll tend to find that your waters will go down to 16 degrees at night and then come up to 24, 25 in the summertime. Okay, then as autumn comes and winter comes, they drop right off. That is the point where you keep the quality of your koi, right? So rather than draining it off and putting it in your shed, run it so it maintains a 8 to 12 degrees and keep that on a constant throughout winter. You will do your fish the world a good by doing that. Okay, and it'll probably cost you the same amount of money if you insulate well. And that's the point where the fish, the UV isn't as strong in the winter months because we get less of it. So to be perfectly honest, fish will sit down, and if you've got 8 to 12 degrees, you can still feed a small amount of food in order to keep them well balanced. So I would actually say the opposite of what was said on by Clive is the best thing to do.
And then, like Gaz has put there, when I get my feeder, then they will grow, I hope.
Okay, so, this is a question that this is a piece of education in the shop that quite often people don't understand. Okay, so without an auto feeder, you will not get great growth on your koi full stop. And the reason for that, unless you're at home, all right, 24/7, all right, what you do is you'll get up in the morning, you go out, you give your fish some food, you go to work, you come home, you give some fish some food, you go and have your dinner. Just before you go to bed, you give your fish some food. Okay, not only is it not good for your filters because you're constantly creating spikes, i.e., but with big gaps in between feeds, what you will do is you will cut down on the volume of food that you put in, but you feed little and often. Therefore, when your fish are going through the digestive system, you are getting the bad bacteria through your filtration system on an even keel. So therefore, there's constant food source going into your bacteria in your filter. That is how to make your filter grow really strong. Your water will benefit from an auto feeder as well as your fish, because they're not doing what people do when they go out on the piss, which is binge feed. You know, they are little and often, and they will benefit from that because you've got constant energy, constant growth going in, and it's not just bits and bats at the beginning and end of the day. You lose all of those hours for a fish just swimming around in the pond, expelling energy. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, guys. So I'm hoping I can get mine sorted out this
I
time.
will. Guys, I guarantee you will see a better growth rate in your pond, even without a heat pump. And the reason for that is merely because little and often is better than now and then.
Because that ANC put there, and probably a lot of people will be the same. Can't believe what I've just spent on koi food. If you told me 3 years ago, I would have laughed.
It's true.
You know, because as you get more into the hobby, and like you made, because it sort of relates to a feeder, you're going to go through a bit more food. But when you're starting the hobby, you just think a little bit here, a little bit there, and as you get more into it, and you can buy other things, you're like,
you realise, right? And you know what? I'm speaking from experience, personal experience on my own pond. So, I had a growing season with a heater on my pond. I didn't run it all year because I fell into my air source heat pump and broke the fan, so I had to turn it off. But just the growth that I got from my fish coming from my old pond into my new one on an auto feeder with heat, but then keeping the auto feeder going, the growth on them has been huge. And I've got 2 pictures that I've taken. One when I first introduced them into the pond against the window, and what they're like now, and they look like different fish within a year. It's just massive how much extra growth you get by doing it.
and then I can't. Clive's response to it, he said, "I can't afford it, to be honest, not all year."
Okay, so let the warmer months in the UK be a growing season, right? And then do your fish a world of good by running it in the winter under insulation at a low temperature. You're still right. So what you got to remember, if you've got a deep pond, Clive, right, the bottom of your pond will always maintain around 3.5 to 4 degrees at 4 foot. All right. By circulating that, you're only increasing the temperature of your pond water by 4 degrees. Okay, and that just maintains a constant. All right, so you may find it may even be cheaper in the winter to run it at 8 degrees than what it is trying to maintain 22 or 23 degrees in the summer, because the drop off can go from 23 to 16, so therefore there's a 9-degree difference rather than trying to maintain 4 to 8. So half as much potentially. I'm not a scientist, but the figures would state that you're working half as hard in order to keep the same sort of temperatures.
And then Gaz has put there, have a question mark. What they had a big earthquake in Japan. How did they manage to get back to the stock level so quick? Or did a lot of the big main dealers not get affected that bad?
So I did actually. A lot of dealers were actually, parent stocks were wiped off the map, but there is a place in Japan where they keep all of a certain amount of fish in a certain place. So if things like this happen, they still have the ability to go and get parent stock. Okay, the other, I don't know what the place is called off the top of my head without
like a gene bank kind of thing.
Yeah, so I mean, they also use this. So when, like, for example, and the reason why I know this is because when I was researching Ochiba, I wanted to know how it became quite a mainstream variety because it was different. And what they do is once they find something, if they choose, unlike Taniguchi Golden Corn, it was something that was seen as a very nice fish across breeders. It was stable. So what they've done is they've done a spawning, then they started to actually present like a certain amount of fish to different breeders to then do breeding. So they would then start to cross the bloodline. So eventually that variety would spread across more than one different breeder. So therefore, if one breeder goes down, that stock is still available elsewhere.
Yeah, that's sensible.
You know, but that is where they work together. Some breeders, like the guys at NND, they lost literally everything, and they come together then. But where they sell their like good brood stock out to other dealers, those dealers donated their fish back, you know, to bring them back into the market.
It's really good that they can get on and do that.
Mate, honest to God, they're amazing. They're different. This is like what like Ryan and I were saying on Thursday night, guys. It's over here. It's nice for the dealers to get on with each other and help each other out. You know, he's too business orientated, but Westerners will never get that style because it's about survival of the fittest rather than community to help each other grow. You know, that's what's bred into our democracy. You know, it's about survival of the fittest. If whoever works the hardest wins, whoever like gets the most customers wins, right? Well, actually, right, when we was in Japan, we'd go right, okay, we're looking to get some of these, and the breeder would go, I ain't got any, but there and there and there, and then they'd make a phone call. You know, I've just been speaking. He's expecting to go and see him, right? And you just know that when you get there, they've either hit all their best fish, or
it's a phone call ahead. Make sure the guy gets his checkbook out before you show him the good stuff.
You know, it's a little bit like when some of the guys with the huge amount of money go there. There's phone calls around. You know, such and such is in town. Such and such is in town. And then all the breeders that don't like to show their face, like Shigeru from Dainichi, for example, he will be about ready for that person to come, so he can personally take them round to his expensive stock, right? But me, I wouldn't say go down to that breeder and take your money there. It's like, tell him I've got this. Oh, there's one of them down there if you want to have a look. Just when I was last time I was in Japan, we was in Odakan, and there was a guy there, mate, and he bought 3 jumbo koi, and I think it was about 11 million per fish that he spent.
Wow.
No, not in pounds, in Japanese money.
It's yen in it,
like
I think.
150,000 pounds.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? On 3 fish. Do you know what I mean?
Like we could
That's
afford.
serious
A lot
money.
of people could afford that. Mike Clive's put there, feed my fish every 3 hours, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, and 9 at night.
Perfect.
So it's consistency.
I mean, I do 2 hours, every 2 hours, but again, I pull my feed on 2 hours. I'll pull my feed back a little bit, so getting more feeds, but still getting the same volume.
Yeah.
And then ANC put there the best growth we had last year. Dainichi Showa toe side 26 cm to 40 cm.
14 cm. Toe size 14 cm. Okay, it's not bad. Not bad. Mediocre.
May to October.
Mediocre growth rate on an unheated pond. That's probably tops of what you get, to be fair.
Yeah.
15 centimetres.
Well, like you say, it's when an unheated pond. You're not realistically going to get 1 cm a week, are you? Unless you get the good temperature through a good summer. But we're in Britain. What's a good summer? Yeah.
Egypt or somewhere.
Yeah, you might get it. Well, you'll have to probably cool water down. The hotter climate you go to, you'll be going other way, won't you? How could I cool my water down?
Exactly. That's hard to heat it up.
That's exactly the same. I mean, if you've got the right air source heat pump, you can achieve that. But it costs just the same amount of money. All that happens is it pulls cold air through your water.
Yeah.
You know? It's harder to achieve in warmer weather.
Yeah.
Right. I tried running a heater on my pond, an inline heater for one winter. First winter I had, I thought, 2 kilowatt heater, that'll be all right. Time I got to spring temperatures coming up, I looked at bill and I went, that's an extra 250 quid for winter. No, thank you. They're having a natural winter. Just way too much when I've got a young family and a mortgage to pay for.
100%. This is what I was saying, mate. It's out of most people's pockets, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're a drinker and a smoker, you ain't getting on a normal wage. There's no way you're putting an heater on your pond.
No, there's no chance, especially the price of stuff now. Everything just went through the roof, isn't it? So,
however, in April, your electric bills are going to come down 17%.
So they say.
Well, they will.
Yeah, and then it'll go winter time. You know, they always do. It's the same, isn't it? Goes down in summer, and then in winter goes back up again.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then NC put there, tried to heat, but the air source heat pump too small and weather was crap. I'll be trying again this year. But I've never used an air source heat pump, so I can't say whether one's right, one's wrong.
What you've got to look at is have a look at what the air source heat pump is capable of, you know, and if it's at a capacity, for example, for 4,000 gallons on 10 kilowatts, right, to heat, you go up a level, right, and then your air source heat pump doesn't work as hard, so therefore it's cheaper to run. Okay, so some people like fall within what the specs say, stay with it, but pump it is working so hard, the kilowattage is flying through the roof. Yeah,
that's what they were using.
Yeah, I mean, them sort of things are good for short-term heating spikes that you need to help healing and stuff, you know. But it's not something I would use to do a constant maintain. You know, it's too expensive and not as powerful.
And I've just read your comment, Dino. Brilliant news, mate. That's why I always double check, or if you're unsure, just speak to someone that you know that might be able to help or advise you if you're ever unsure with your treatments and stuff you're about to put in your pond. Because he put big shout out to Scott Henderson tonight. I almost overdosed my pond on alkaflavin. I was going to put 250 million, but was only meant to put in 120 mil as he spoke to me just in time. Tar Scott Lar. But it's always better if you're ever unsure, or always speak to your mate, or you know, and just double check things. Even though you might have gone through it all, if you're ever unsure, just always speak to one of your mates or somebody in the car, albeit that might be able to help you.
Your mates ain't always the right advice, DT, mate.
Yeah, I always try my best. But then Dino Crafty would have laughed his hoss if I lost my lemon.
Mate, Dino, I really wouldn't, mate. I wouldn't, you know, as much as you think that, it really wouldn't, mate. It's like I want everyone to keep their koi healthy.
Yeah.
You know, Dino, you picked the phone up to me and said, right, Crafty, how do I do this, mate? I will tell you exactly what you should hear, mate. I wouldn't do anything ever. You know. And
then ANC put, yeah, I need a 5 kilowatt. But it's the same as when I was getting my Nexus 220 on my pond. I always make sure that it would over filter the size of the pond. So then if you put a bit extra stock in, you've also got the extra filter capacity to handle what's going in your pond. I've always gone over than what I need to go, so then you're never pushing too much.
Yeah, it's always better to over filter than under filter, isn't it? You know?
I wish I bought a Nexus in the first place. Not knocking the multi-bay filters that I had before. That was meant, but when you've got to travel all the way through your house with a hose pipe, it's a pain in the backside.
Not even that. I mean,
you need an outside tap.
They've got their place, and there's a lot of people out there that still use them and get fantastic results. You know, it's how much work you want to put in.
Yeah,
and space. The big, the size of our ponds now, to be fair, have started to get to a size where a multi-bay filter is not good enough for what you need. You know, and with moving on to fluid beds, you know, they don't hold the capacity required, so therefore you need something else to put that in.
Yeah.
So your filters just get bigger, and sometimes they're as big as your pond when you see them multi.
Yeah, mine were 8 foot long. Were my multi bigs. It were as long as my pond, and I'm like, yeah, this is a bit big. Just managed to fit it through house. It were a lovely bit of kit, but
I got the chop that I took out when we've just done the conversion, and it's about 28 foot long.
Wow.
It's huge, mate. It's
Jesus,
huge.
but that took some cleaning.
Yeah, it was for a big pond, but yeah, purpose built. It was fucking massive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I had to cut it up to get it out.
Yeah.
Like mad, you know, mad. And then it had like 8 bead filters with it as well. It was just a huge filtration system, running on three horsepower pumps.
My God. Like that's it. Imagine if you did manage to sell that to someone. Right, you're gonna need a big lorry that's about big just to get it on because it's huge. Yeah.
It was purpose built. Like someone inquired, they couldn't get a truck that was cheap enough to get it took away. We'd given it, you know what I mean, just to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then there was something else. Where was it? There we go. Crafty would have laughed. Oh no, that was the last one. Hang on. I'm on it. There we go. I'm only joking, mate. I act like a prick, but I mean no harm to anyone. I'm just a tit like coy.
Well, you've done well on the quiz, mate. But you could improve. That's what I'll say.
Well, that's what I liked about doing the quiz. To be honest, certain bits I didn't know, and if you guess it lucky, or if not, at least you know the answer. You can look back on it and do what you want with it. Maybe research it more if that's what you're into. Where is it? It needs to be small because I hide it down the side of the shed. Can't be on show.
I don't like being on show.
You don't offer me.
It's one of them. I suppose
that's the first thing I
pathetic.
see when I look at a pond now, all the filtration and the air source heat pumps and all the rest of it, and it just detracts to me from the fish. I hate it.
That's because you've made yourself like that.
Yeah.
Filtration systems are quite interesting. I know that sounds a bit weird, but they're quite interesting. There's nothing worse than not knowing where your pipes go, mate.
If it's a filter shed, that's fine. It's out of sight. But
mate, you see what we got in the shop, mate. You've got fucking pipes all over the place, like trying to work out what goes fucking where.
It looks like the engine room in a submarine. Some of these filtration systems.
Yeah, but it's one of them. As long as you know where everything goes, it's not so bad. But I'm same as I wouldn't want to. It's like having a washing machine in your front room. You wouldn't want your washing machine in your front room, would you?
No, but exactly.
It's each to their own, isn't it?
Mine's it's all open plan, my house. So
it's different if it's open plan, but like
you still hear it though.
Yeah,
does your tits in?
And then Sam, she PP'd once and realised that I put in 18.1 milli to 1.5 grams gas bean, but neutralised all good. It was meant to be 9 to 10 mil per 1 milli scoop, so almost double. That I gather that you're on about, but that I don't know if you're on about the actual PP, the liquid one.
The powder.
It's like the liquid one, then it's.
Wow.
It seems like it's a liquid one, but then it seems like the powder.
1.5 grams, yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure, but at least that's why I enjoy doing that. I know it's going back on one of the videos, but that's why I enjoy doing the tape challenge, because I was actually, like I've said on a few of my lives before, I was actually overdosing my pond because I thought I had a 2,000-gallon pond, where actually I'm less than what I was. So, yeah.
The big thing to remember is always, if you possibly can, do them in the morning and be there while it's taking effect, which is hard to do because normally it's the end of the day and you want to put the treatment in, leave it overnight, but too late then when they're all dead in the morning, isn't it?
the thing
That's
is,
why
with PP, it's not understood.
It's not an exact science, though, is it? Because it depends on
It's really not.
on the organic matter in the pond that can just
Yep.
eat up the PP. You have to add extra.
Yeah.
It's a tricky
that's
one.
where I was always led to believe if you're wanting to PP your pond and stuff, always clean your filters, do your water change and everything beforehand. So most of your organic
Try and
matter
take
is
out as
already.
much of the organics as you can. Yeah.
Right. So most of the organics, I mean, that's a practice you should use for every single treatment you add is clean your filters out, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just decreasing the effectiveness of the treatment that you're putting in your water. Right. So irrespective of whether it's PP or not, what you will see, right? So every pond's different. So some ponds, my pond has a huge amount of organic matter floating around in it naturally because it's under full sun, you know, for longer. So therefore you will have naturally a stronger organic I don't know what
Matter in your pond because of your algae and stuff, won't you?
So because of that, when I PP, you will see that it goes brown quicker, and that isn't the PP. That isn't the PP losing each treatment. It's going through the cycle of treatment quicker. Okay, so it's not as effective because it's working more into the organics rather than like attacking the problem on the fish that you're trying to achieve. So what I tend to do is I will peep this. I'm not telling anyone else to do this. Is what I do. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, bearing in mind I've had a play with PP, right? So I know what my pond can take. Every pond's different. I PP my pond with a normal dosage on its own on day one. Right. I let it go through the cycle. I don't top it up anymore. I just let it go through the cycle. With that, I know that treatment has been more effective against the organics that are in my pond because I've got a high organic matter. Okay, so therefore I let it go, and you'll notice that you get all that brown scum at your pond, right? And actually, once that treatment's gone through your filters, you see that your water becomes actually really, really gin clear, and that's because it's neutralised those organics that take up some of the density of your pond. The next day, I'll do another dose. I'm not going to say what my dose is, but I do another dose the next day, and that process is hugely reduced, so it doesn't go brown as quick. Therefore, I know that the first part of that treatment cycle is hitting my fish, and it's hitting it hard on the second day.
Yeah.
Right? I'll let that go, and I'll just let it again. I don't neutralize it with hydrogen peroxide anymore. I just let it run its course, and the reason for that is once it gets through the purple stage and it starts to go that horrible shitty brown color, that at that point is when it's most effective for neutralizing trick. So if you've got any in your if you're PP into the parasite trick, then that is the most effective stage, and that is when, as the word goes, which is incorrect, people add hydrogen peroxide (HP) into their pond. So therefore, again, they're shooting down that effective part of that treatment, neutralizing it far too quick. So it's not as effective as what it should be because it hasn't gone through that whole cycle.
Yeah.
So understanding what it does is extremely important. Once you master PP, it's one of the best treatments for your pond.
Absolutely.
You know?
But I suppose that's where if you have maybe one or two gasping, maybe that's why it's worth having a bowl of pond water that isn't PP'd. So at least you can leave the other fish being treated and put them in a bowl and let them recover. Maybe just a thought that come to my head while you were on about it.
Yeah, I mean, you could. All right, it's like the chances are though that the one thing that people tend to miss is gill problems. Okay, PP is not kind to fish that have gill problems. All right, so gill flukes or any sort of necrosis that you see build up in the gill, you don't see because you're not inspecting gills. That's a very important part of understanding fish health, is doing gill inspections. I guarantee not many people do it. Okay, so they won't know they've got gill issues. So by putting a powerful dose of PP in, because they already have as such breathing problems, so to speak. All right, by putting PP in, you're taking that oxygen out of the water that makes it harder for that fish to survive. So you'll find that gasping, if you just lose one, you've probably got an underlying problem somewhere. All right, if you follow the advice, which is put a load of air through your pond, all right, when you're PPing, you should have no problems at all.
I guess I just put the never pee in your pond unless it's a new one and want to get your filter started going aircrafty.
I didn't say pee in your pond, guys. I said pee on your filter.
Oh, you got to love it. And then Sweet Acre put there. I've probably lost it now because it's gone that far up. Yeah, because you were asking roughly how much is. There we go. How much is it? How much is a £50 bag of Takasumi in the UK? So
you don't buy it in pounds, mate. It's in
no, but she's in America, so they always.
Okay, off the top of my head, the bigger tubs you get are around £68. So in America, you're looking around $140.
Yeah, because that's what Clive put there. About £100. He has put like £110 ish. So it's all. I suppose it's another thing. It all depends on what sort of shop the person shops at as well, because everyone prices certain stuff differently, don't they? To your answer. Oh my God. It's always good having other guys on the show or in the chat, because I always remember certain stuff and just goes poof. But, it's one of that.
I'm gonna have to drop off, Dave. Me bloody pearl scale goldfish are spawning.
There you go, Daz.
Lose the eggs.
Catch you in a bit, Daz.
Yeah. Spawn.
Yeah.
Well, mate, get it going.
Yeah, the chaser, the two pearl scales at the back, if you can see it, like tennis balls. They've just been chasing each other, doing all the little wiggle dance.
Well, there you go.
As you shed it, get them netted out, lad.
Yeah, I'll just and spawn with them.
Yeah, squirt him out, boy.
There you go. You won't get it. It's very rare that'll happen on a live, isn't it?
Yeah, they should be more like what do they call them? Them seahorses that do it in about half a millisecond. Jobs are good.
Yeah, it's done. Gaz there. Get Barry White on, Daz. I'll just drop him down because obviously he's not very great with technology sometimes. Oh, and then they cannot get it in the States. Gaz says, I don't know.
I don't know. I can get in the States, to be fair.
And then Dino, just feed them pickle onion monster munch. You always come out with a belt as you, Dino, don't you? And then Simon Shears or 15 169 20 kilo 199 sake carrot or crapasumi. But this is the thing, it's everyone's opinion with what food they want to eat.
Is a good food. Sake curry, in my opinion, is the best food. And I do use different foods in the shop for different fish, and that's merely down to the fact that Takasumi do a very good tozai pellet that's really small.
It's whatever, like I said before, it's whatever your budget allows for whatever food you can get, and then it's down to what range you can get out of your budget, then, isn't it?
It does, mate. But actually, I've done a lot since working in the shop. I've done a lot of workings out. So I'm looking at right. So you can get a 4 litre bag of that Tetrapon stick crap. That, to be perfectly honest, and worth the bag it's put in. You know, you can get that for, I think it's $24.99 for 4 litres. Right, they sell it in litres. Right, when you look at how much it is in weight, it is 0.7 of a kilo. All right, for 20 quid. Right, so then when you start looking, right, 0.7 of a kilo, right. In order to get to 3 kilo, you've got to buy 5 bags of that.
Yeah.
Right, so that's 125 quid for the same weight of a 3 kilo bag of Medicoy that will cost you 40% of that.
Yeah.
Right. When you then start looking at how much you get in volume to hit 15 kilograms, it's huge. And that's because there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
But you're paying for literally fucking
the packaging.
But it's extremely well packaged. And for those people that don't understand, it's a go-to product that your nan and granddad go to, because it's got lovely, colourful, different green, red, orange, purple sticks, right? And the fish love them. The fish only eat them because that's all that's on offer. That's the bit they don't get. The fish don't grow. There's loads of waste. It literally does nothing for them. Right?
It just keeps them surviving rather than thriving.
The amount of people that I have taken off of Tetra, and we make at the shop, we make extremely good money off Tetra food, right? And you know, Tetra food sales dropped, Medicoy increased, Saki increased, Takazumi increased. That's because when I started showing them the price comparisons and what the goodness is in comparison and what the results are off of the back of it, you know, they come back and my fish are so much happier. Yeah, that's because they've got nice food.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Saki, it can be anything but that, to be perfectly honest.
And then Gaz has put there, what's your starting price of the yellow monkeys in your shop, Crafty?
They're flat £2,000.
There you go, now watering that. Yeah, imagine explaining that to your partner. Yeah, well, I've just spent £2,000 on a fish.
Well, the thing is, I haven't pushed their growth hard. I bought Koi wholesale out of all of the yellow monkeys last year. Okay, they weren't cheap when I bought them, but it's supply and demand. Trying to get all the yellow monkeys in the UK, right, is very difficult for the hobbyist. However, what has made them more valuable is the fact that Dainichi had a complete failed spawning this year, or on the last spawning. And when I was up in Japan, I walked around a few of Dainichi's koi houses, and there was literally no more than 10 yellow monkeys in his ponds. And the only ones that are coming up for sale are through Narita auctions. Right, that's how hard they are to get hold of. So, you know, actually, I'm not making a great deal of money on them, and they're approximately 50 centimeters. You're looking between 40 and 50 centimeters, right? But they're amazing fish. They are all high quality fish.
Where's the next one? Like Dino there, I feed mine the Cockney Koi peaches and cream for 2 years before I started watching people's live and getting involved in YouTube. And
you know, Cockney Koi peaches and cream again. We sell Cockney Koi products. We don't sell any food. They do an extremely good range of cheap black piping. We've got so many different bends and bits that put everything together that they're quite a go-to brand for pipe fittings, basically. everything else Cockney Koi, I've changed my mindset now. They haven't moved with innovation. Their algae, their UV light, the algae buster is still very good.
I used to have that on my pond until I got an algorithm UV in it. It just worked every year.
But their food is all chicken feed. It's crap, which is why you get nothing, because it's got no good nutrient in it. You'll get fat, you won't get growth.
But what do you think of Cuttlebrook Premium Growth? I've
never used it, so I wouldn't be able to say. However, what I would say is that Cuttlebrook Farm raise some really great koi. They've got their own brand of food, and they get good results on it. So, you don't have to buy any Japanese food. That food, if it works for you, stick with it.
And then, Crafty, what size sake pellet would you feed a 50 cm fish?
Medium and large, depending. What you got to remember, a lot of people get this. There's like a lot of discussion about pellet sizes. You should only really feed the size of pellet that your smallest fish in your pond can take. Less energy is taken for all size fish to eat smaller pellet. However, if all your fish are the same size, feed a size pellet that they can easily take and digest.
Yeah.
Because digestion is the part. There's no, you don't need small unless you've got Tozai. But sake's small stuff is not. It's not ideal for Tozai. It's still a little bit too big, I think. Until they get to
that's 4 or 5 mil pellet small, isn't it?
He says 4 to 5 mil.
Yeah. So that's like the fish I got from you for the event that we're on Gazza's Live. Yeah. That's actually the quality of that fish is actually come on quite well. It's still small. It's only about the same size, but the depth it's coming along nicely. But the Kajaka,
I've seen a lot of unheated fish now have been sent. People will be getting an email next week. I've instructed my digital guide to send emails today. So everyone that provided with an email will get an email. If you didn't give an email and you give a text message, you'll get a text message. A telephone number, you'll get a text message. But some of we had a shit summer last year. No two ways about that. So there hasn't been a lot of growth on unheated ponds. But what I have seen in quality is absolutely second to none. The Benny plate has really, really improved. And what you will see is that the Benny is deepened massively, which really strengthens my point of argument that I had with a few hobbyists that were moaning that the Benny plate was too orange, when actually it's young Benny, so it still hasn't had 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th layer, or how many layers they go through in order to strengthen and deepen the colour.
Yeah, because the Kajako that I got off for you when you did them auctions, my God, that is probably one of the better fish I've got in my pond. And I'm just on its head. I haven't got the tancho spot yet, but me and Gaz were discussing it. It's starting to get more. I can't remember the word off the top of my head. It's sort of losing the Benny just above the actual tancho spot.
The sash line starting to tighten. Yeah.
That's what I couldn't think of the word. But when then it'll be a proper nice Kajako. It is mint as it is now. But then unfortunately I lost the other one I got from the auctions, that Benny. Yeah. Unfortunately, one of the bigger fish must have swiped, knocked out the 40mm pipe from the retro drain. Must have got too close. Gone. Yeah, and it's just gone. All right.
Mate, that's just the way it goes, and livestock is dead stock at the end of the day.
It is. I was like, how's that happened? I even give it an extra push so the door it don't come out. So can you
imagine, Dave? Right, hobbyists spend a lot of their earnings on fish, and everyone, I don't care who you are, will lose a fish at some point, and it's quite it damages your pocket either way. Can you imagine what it's like when you've spent tens of thousands of pounds on fish?
Yeah.
And you're then responsible for keeping them alive and healthy.
Well, I can imagine, even though you've got all your stock in, that's in the back of your mind, you know, you probably might lose like 1 or 2% of that stock. Which
No, you don't. You don't. If you look after your fish, you shouldn't really lose any.
no, but as a worst case, you've always got that in the back of your mind, just as a worst case. It shouldn't happen, but you never know how they're going to travel. Like you said, you had some that didn't travel so well.
If you're going to get any losses, I mean, obviously it's a risk. Okay, so if you import 10 to 12 cm tozai, they're extremely fragile. You know, the smallest little knock can turn them upside down. You know, when I say knock, I don't mean bumped into. I'm on about, like, you know, you get an outbreak of trick or costia.
Yeah,
their immune systems are not good. You know, so if you don't catch it at the right time, you know, you will get a few losses without doubt. But the bigger they get, there's less opportunity. There's less opportunity as a koi keeper to lose them if you're looking after your fish properly. And that's the thing, if you're looking after your fish.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's always down to your water parameters and always testing your water and making sure you're using a decent food that suits your budget, and then eventually you'll see some sort of development in your koi, whether it's growth, whether it's your depth in colour. You'll always find something if you know your pond's doing the right things, or if you know your pond, and you know you'll know if the fish are sulking that there's probably a parasite problem, sort of thing.
And it can be absolutely anything, mate. Your fish sulking doesn't necessarily mean parasite; it means problem.
Yeah,
you investigate it to find out what the problem is. Right now,
that's why I always go to water parameters first, and if they're all as they should be, then that's when I go, right, it could be a parasite, and then start scraping a few fish. And 9 times out of 10, it is a parasite, and then you sort it out with whatever parasite it'll be.
Yeah, you're totally right. If you look at commercial level, right, our ponds, you know, I've got 130 tozai in 750 litres of water, running off of an easy pod.
Yeah.
And a 25 watt UV and a 3,000 litre pump. Right, all of them fish need feeding in order to keep them healthy.
Yeah.
So can you imagine the amount of care it takes to keep all of those fish in good condition for sale?
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing. It's not like you can just go, right, well, I feed them and then that'll want to be all right. That'll be all right. You've got to be constantly on it, haven't you? And if you see a problem, you've got to be on it. So if it's a big problem,
can you imagine 90 ponds full of fish?
Well, I can imagine it, but I'll be like, that's a big headache for me.
What my point is how much work it takes, to keep that stock looking good. Yeah, you only need one bad pond or one bad fish to give you a bad reputation.
Yeah, but if I went to say your shop, for example, and you said that, let's say you've just got 100 vats or whatever, I'm walking, and if I see what one problem in a pond, if you've got that many ponds, you're not always, but if there is a little bit of a problem, then you're going to be treating it probably anyway. It's like when I come down to yours.
I mean, I'm not focusing on me.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying you as an example, as you know, let's say you've got 100 ponds. You know, not all them fish are going to be 100% all the time, because it depends how many people that place has got to maintain all them ponds.
And you're quite right. It's like what you will, so the process I put in my shop is that actually it's license, part of the pet shop licensing rules that you don't see in a majority of sales shops, where if a pond is under treatment, it is taken off sale.
Yeah.
Number one. You are also supposed to display that it's under treatment, right? So you will see if anything in our shop is under treatment, I change where the price is. I change to a little red cross and
Yeah.
put "We're feeling poorly"
Yeah.
or "under treatment." I've got different ones, and then that pond gets covered.
Yeah.
Right. That way, they're not constantly being screamed at by the kids that come in the shop, or people aren't tempted to put their hands in, or they don't judge you because some of them fish don't look their best.
Yeah.
All taken away, and it's done for a reason. The main reason is to keep the temp in the pond, right, and to stop as much stress as you possibly can for them fish.
Yeah, because you've always got, like you said, people walking about, and it's stressful enough for a minute.
But the flip side of the coin is that people then see that you're treating your fish, right? And some people will see that as a negative, when actually it should always be seen as a positive, because it means that you're actively caring for your fish.
Yeah, well, that's the way I would say it. If I walked into someone's shop and they say, "Oh, you know, it's covered or whatever," them fish ain't for sale. They're under, you know, we're doing whatever with them.
Yeah.
In my back of my mind, I'll be like, well, that's a decent shop. They've took it off the shelf, and as soon as you've walked in, they've explained it, you know, because you might walk in shop and the person's there, it's like, you know, well, you know, like the customer's looking a bit funny, like, why is that? And then they've explained it. It puts your mind at ease to some people, won't it?
I mean, the worst place I've been to, you know, is garden centres where, you know, the fish are fucked. They're laying dead, or you see 3 dead fish in there. You know, I remember looking in a pond close to a garden centre close to me. There's 3 dead fish in there. There was fish clamped. There was fish with fin rot that had clearly not been treated or had any treatment. It was that bad that there was hardly any fin left. I actually took videos, and I went to their head office with how they was looking after their fish, and then reported them to the council. And all I got told, all that come back on the email was, "I'm sorry you had a bad experience. You know, I've informed the area manager and it will be dealt with." But the problem is that I knew the guy that run that shop was the area manager for the other chain that was throughout Northampton.
It's one of them, yeah, it is livestock, but when
I've got fish in my pond that I bought from a garden centre. When I first started out in a hobby, I've got a kajaku. What's the other one I've got? So I'll give it away. Oh, a Sankey that's in there. They are thriving. The thing is, I know that they come from Japan. I was far out. Like I was, you know, it was a while back when I first really got into Japanese koi properly. I know they was from Japan because the boxes when I arrived were from Japan.
Yeah.
Right. All they then done is floated them fish, and I bought them fish and grew them on. The problem is that further down the line, you know, when you see their bigger fish, they've got ulcers. You know, they are they're surviving, they're not thriving.
Yeah.
They've got Nexus, yes, they've got the air pumps, yes, the systems look amazing, but the people in there have clearly not got a fucking idea about how to look after koi carp. They are literally just a pet shop. That's the best way of putting it. You know, and unfortunately, people are paying big money for fish that I know nothing about, and they get given the incorrect advice. Yet you're still getting things like EA, Oase, like as outlets for supplying these places that give them their name, and actually the fish don't get the greatest care.
But that, I suppose, that's where people on YouTube, can help out and does help out the hobby. Where if somebody doesn't know something, type it in on YouTube, and then as long as you do enough research, like when I was building my pond, I must have watched about, say, I don't know, 20 different, videos, and then make my own assumption from each one, and you roughly get it, out of them all. Right, I need to build my pond at this depth because I've watched them, and on average it's like 4.5 foot, which mine is, but you just take it out of different videos, and that's the way I did mine anyway.
I mean, I went to one of the. I'm not going to say it because I'm in the industry. So I went to one of these fish chains that are quite well known within garden centres, and that are close to me. And it's like I even went with my company badge on to one of the local stores, which is a flagship store.
Yeah.
It's appeared on one of the YouTubers' channels like fairly recently, and they've gone in and when they've got 3 big round ponds in there, are powered by Nexus, and the fish were that docile. It really hurt me inside that these fish were moving so slow that I just knew that they weren't in good condition. They weren't like healthy condition. They weren't in a healthy condition. They didn't look unhealthy, but just by the levels of energy, they were lethargic. Moved by far too many fish in the pond. They're fed crappy Tetra sticks, what you buy for 50p in a pot. So the kids just throw that in all day long.
Yeah.
Right, they've got a big, deep pond, which is a lovely pond. And I was listening to one of their reps in there spouting some crap off, and I really it's not weren't my place. So I really wanted to step in and say, you are speaking some shit. It's like, there was a point, this fish will cost you thousands and thousands of pounds in, and I looked and I thought, people that are spending that money would not buy that fish because it is in fucked up condition. They got a big sturgeon that swims around in there. That's okay. And then went into like the outdoor part, and this same guy who was like, "Oh, I'll show you these," and he netted at some tension. He was like, "Oh yeah, these will get to £8 in your pond, no problem." And again, it's just a sales pattern. It's like, I wanted to say, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Because potentially get £8 in a reservoir at the top end, he's probably going to get no more than £1.50 in your pond.
Well, it's one of that. Even if you sell a car, you can't predict its future. It's all down to that person that's keeping it in their pond, making sure they maintain it and they've got the right adequate filtration, feed. The list just goes on. So you can't say, well, that I can sell that fish at that, and it will become a 90 cm, because you can't predict the future, can you?
It's not even predicting the future. It's what science you put behind what it is that you're trying to achieve, isn't it? In order to grow a koi fish big, there's so many different elements that you have to consider. It's like the size of your pond. Do you have a round pond? Do you have a really, in Japan, the big fish have got huge, long ponds that allow them to swim up and down all day long. Yeah. But then they're on the right heat. They're on an extremely good diet, right? They are the fish that have been kept by the breeder. So they are the 0.01% of fish that have been kept back. And because these breeders know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
They have got the right conditions all year round. Over here, you've got a 5,000 gallon pond, right? How many fish can you keep in a 5,000 gallon pond and get it to 1,000, like a 1 meter, right?
It's next to impossible. It's not impossible, but it's next to impossible.
It's almost impossible. And quite often, you will find that the people with them big fish will import them in because they know them qualities around 60, 70 and then push the growth. You know,
Yeah.
many people go from here, like here to here in the UK. In fact, you
Yeah.
can probably count them on one hand.
But then it's also down to your education and learning from experiences, and and getting the right advice and knowing what you can achieve out of whatever. And I gather ACSA is still on because I've normally finished by now. It's normally 2 hour show. But I didn't do one last week, and the goers, if people are still in chat talking and we're talking, the live still goes on. It's when it starts going a bit and no one's talking or we're not talking, and it's like, yeah, it's about time to get off. But it's a good chat, so why not carry on? That's why they're going still on, and the guys are going, me too.
It's what I will say to you, Dave, is it's not about what people say. It's about what you practice that counts.
Yeah.
Lee Hadfield is a very good, and I say his name because most people watch him. Okay, people on here will understand who he is, and if you ain't, go and check him out. But you will see that he listens. He then puts those things into practice, and then the results speak for themselves. You know, on last koi show, he's got some very quality fish, but he didn't take anything. He didn't take anything because his fish didn't have enough body. So he advised how to fix that. So he acted. He didn't ignore it. He acted, and lo and behold, it was there.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? You've got to know the right people, or see something, or like you say, get like he's been in Japan and can see all these bits and pieces, and I'm not mentioning what he does, but and then people opening up and telling you stuff, and then like you say, trying it out, and some things will work for you, some things won't. But
I mean, let's get one thing clear, mate. If I'd done a mosquito in Japan, all right, I haven't got that jovialness that Lee carries naturally.
No,
he gets away with it because people find him funny anyway, and he quite clearly makes fun of it. If I got my old boy out of the walls and made a mosquito, people think I'm a fucking weirdo, and I'd get locked up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Said, any of us did that, we'd be like, keen out, right? Police, come on, get rid of it. But
it's true.
I didn't think it was. And then when Ryan were on Gaz's Live, and we're like, yeah, he has done that. I'm like, oh shit!
I witnessed it firsthand, mate. Personally,
it
was
I never known how so bad.
He was up in Kobayashi's, mate, and he Kobayashi had turned he turned all his systems off in order to net a couple of fish up. And there was Lee with an air pipe stuck down the old boy, and it was like turning the tap on and off to blow, And
they're all nutters.
All of them, mate, and I know that firsthand as well. I know quite a few paras, and they're all the same mentality. They're fucked in the
head. Well, it's one of them. If people find it funny, you're going to keep doing it, aren't you? And obviously, people out there must sort of find it funny, that sort of thing. But if I went down to your shop, for example, and did that, you'd be bringing police, wouldn't you? I'd get locked up.
Yeah, I mean, he's not stupid. He knows which ones where he can get away with it and where he can't. It's quite strange because my sort of outlook on how the koi breeders are out there, you have got, in my opinion, two lots. You have got the more old and gentleman traditional type out on the left, and you've got the up and coming and younger generation on the right. And over the years, my assessment is that over the years, as Westerners have increased, and when I say Westerners, I mean European people have come over, In Japan, they have adopted a different sense of humor to the seniors, where the seniors are more interested in tradition and upholding certain values. The younger generation have got a fucked up mindset, and their comedy is fucked up. They see things like that as quite funny. They still uphold certain values and traditions, and they're very, not all of them are as you would expect, which is how over here they're portrayed to be up at 4, breakfast at 4:10, out the door at 4:30, at the fish house at 5:20. You know, they're not that regimented, some of them. The older generation, yes. The younger generation, no. Some of them are. Some of them are fucking far from it.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to know who you're dealing with and what you can get away with. And it's the same. You know, you're assessing the person that you're dealing with as to how you work out best deals.
Well, it's like anyway, you've got to build that friendship up, haven't you? And then you can, you know where then you can go, where you can't, and stuff like that. And it's as you get to know new people, you know how each other work. It's like at work when you start a new job and that, you're maybe a bit touchy or trying to get to know people. And when you get to know them, then you can bounce off one another, if that makes sense.
So I went to a couple of dealers towards the end of my trip, and I'd exhausted the budget plus some. And these dealers I actually got quite interested in, right? But over there, when the opportunity knocks, you pretty much have to take it through fear of coming back and that price increasing, or those fish are gone. So you have to pretty much jump on it there and then. I've got a more rounded idea now of when I go back out there, I'll have a better idea on how to control certain things, because obviously I'm learning as well. But I got to a couple of dealers towards the end of my trip where I didn't have enough money left to pretty much do what I wanted. And they was quite exciting. One of them, Yamaguchi, I personally think he is going to be a big name, and is knowing the time I spent with him and knowing what his future plans are, he's somebody that I'm quite focused on. I'm quite interested to see where he takes his line of work, because he's a truffle farmer, as well as a koi breeder, and he makes a lot of money selling truffles. So I'm told. Or not, I don't know, but he sells koi at a high end.
Yeah.
So, you know, he won't just deal with anyone. He will only deal with people he wants to deal with. He's small. He's very small. He's got 4 ponds, like i.e. in his filter house. Yeah. So selection is very important to him. He hasn't got the real estate of Dainiji, which have got more fucking ground than you can throw your stick at, right? But what he's producing is extremely good quality. So I find him quite interesting, because the scale of his operation is him, his fish, 4 ponds, and a few mud ponds. But what he's bringing out of that is absolutely fucking unreal. You know, which shows an element of attention to detail and skill. Another one is somebody that's looking in the Aragoki range. I was talking to him. He's on his 3rd generation of Aragoki. Again, I didn't buy any fish from him because my budget had shrunk.
Yeah.
And I said to him, Kobayashi, I said, because I've got quite a strong love for Aragoki fish. I find them extremely dazzling fish, because there's not one of them is really the same, and that's what I like about it's not pattern, it's scalation, it's size, etc. All right, they're a challenge. And I said, I am extremely interested in what you do. I will be coming back in October, and he's a really funny guy. He's young, comical, really comical. He has fun with you, which to me, I gelled with that bloke. And I said, well, next time I come out, I will be coming to you first. I want to come to you first. And he's like, okay. I said, I find your koi good. And he went, money talks.
Well, it does, though, doesn't it?
So it's not always about relationship. It's about
No, but that.
Again, he's got 2 fish houses. 1, 2, 3, 4 small ponds in one, and 3 decent sized ones in a neighbouring property next to where he has some fucking belt.
Yeah.
I like this guy. Again, a one-man band. Him and his young boy come in. Him and his young boy. My head is like, how the fuck are you achieving this? Just you do. So every fish you buy off of him, he is extremely grateful for.
Yeah.
Limited stock. He's not like everybody else, where you go to someone like Hiroi, it's got a fucking massive, like a massive greenhouse full of ponds. Quite a lot of staff members, so quite a lot more fish coming through, so a lot more wealthy. He has to, in order to be up and coming, he has to prove himself and have the ability to do it time and time again. A little bit like Adam Beyer in the UK, right? You have a couple of failed spawnings, that's your yearly life, that's your livelihood gone.
Yeah.
So having that relationship with those smaller time means that your money talks because you're supporting them.
Yeah.
You're trusting them,
Well, it works both ways, doesn't it? You've got, even though the money does talk, building that relationship, then he's going to be like, well, they're actually interested, it helps me, and then spend X amount of money there, then eventually might be able to get another pond.
But does money talk when you go to somebody that has got so many more fish to offer?
Yeah.
It doesn't have as much power.
It doesn't, but you can, you can buy more, but then it isn't in. It's hard to sort of explain quick enough, if you know what I mean, because you can put more fish in there and make it cheaper.
Okay, so if I went to let's say Hiroi, right, or Aoki, all right, both the same sort of scale. If I went there with £30,000, £30,000 will buy you a shit ton of fish.
Yeah.
But because they have so many more fish and that's so many more customers that spend their money, £30,000 there is not as powerful as what it is at somebody that's only got 4 ponds.
Like Gaz put it there, money always talks if you have enough of it, and then A&C put quality talks.
That's the statement. Quality talks to us, right? That's where you spend your money, but at what price point? The thing for me, it's like a small-time dealer. Yeah, you can, Gaz, but I'm on about for someone's livelihood. Okay, so he's only got 2 spawnings all year. £30,000 will buy you a huge amount of his stock. So to him, having £30,000 there and then, right, is his payday for the year.
Yeah.
Would he release that amount of fish to me? I will tell you now, the answer is no. Absolutely not. Why? Because he wants to ensure that he's got enough stock for more than one dealer to come back to.
Yeah, well, he's trying to make sure that he can get his name out there with multiple people, also make enough money.
Here's something for you. So those you're watching on Thursday when Ryan was saying, he was talking about chopsticks going into Shinola.
When it's crafty, I'll be back in a minute.
Carry on, mate. Going into Shinoda, where you pull your chopsticks, he couldn't be asked for that. So he sent a message to say, right, message is, tell him just to get me some fish in the back and I'll come back tomorrow, but I'm going to pay you whatever you want. Money talks there. And because he's already got a bit of a relationship, lo and behold, he went there and he weren't disappointed. Now, you can't do that everywhere without a relationship, but I could have said that and he said absolutely fucking not. But if I'd have spent the amount of money that I do going through him, sees you as a regular returning customer, willing to put the money on the table, he's going to do that for you. Where Kobayashi, there's no way he'd do it because his stock is too precious in order for him to make separations. He would rather treat everybody equally, you know. Any more questions, guys? Put them down the bottom for me because I'm talking to myself. No more questions. I don't know how many it's on. I can't see on mine, but
sorry. And then the last comment was quality outweighs quantity.
When you're buying fish, it does. One thing that I've experienced in Japan. One thing that I experienced in Japan was the difference between my old supplier and what I do now. By going to Japan, you net 1,000 fish in a pond. You sift through those 1,000 fish and you fill up bowls as you go along.
Yeah.
So anything that you're picking out goes into a bowl. The ones that you don't want go back into the pond. Next scoop comes out, repeat in the bowl. The ones you don't want goes back, and you go through that process until you have gone through every fish that's in that pond. When you then go to the bowls, you then go through that process again, where you've picked your top fish out of that pond. You then do a comparison against the fish that you've picked out. So then what you do, if you're after 135 fish and you've now got 200 fish, you have to then reject 65 fish out.
Yeah.
Right. So now I am taking out of that pond of 1,000 the top 10% at my eye.
Yeah.
Where that means that the quality of my fish coming back are the best quality for the fish that I was shown on that day. Okay. From my old supplier, it was he or she will take out the top 10% and then sell me the 90%.
Yeah.
I have a choice out of the 90% that's left. The difference is that if I was to buy console, which is what my old supplier would buy, yes, you get a percentage of very good fish in that console order, but they would be taken away before they was offered.
Yeah.
So if I bought console, I'd get 20% really good quality fish, 80% good quality fish, but not the best.
Yeah.
Now I've gone to Japan and I have selected the best fish out of that pond.
Yeah.
On the day that I was there. Not what was just sent to me. I've selected the ones that I want to buy and sell. Whereas before it was, this is what I've got to offer.
Well, it's one of them, and I bet it were, like you said on Gaz's Live, I suppose it were a big eye opener and a sort of what you already learned, and then going to different farms and what you've learned off of them when you've been selecting and picking stuff. I bet you actually learned quite a bit more than what you thought you might have done going out there.
Say that again, Dave.
Oh my God, asking me to repeat the same question ain't easy. Like the knowledge that you already had, like before you even went to Japan, and going out there I bet you've learnt a heck of a lot more than what you thought you would have done by going out there from what the breeders were like telling you, on top of what knowledge you already knew when you were picking out fish.
Yeah. You're actually pitching myself. So the breeders knew it was my first time out there. I made sure that they knew that. All right. Some breeders were more forthcoming in helping and giving you advice, but they wouldn't do so until they see you work.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I say work, they look at how your eye is. One person that I spent a lot of time with was Kobayashi down at NND, to the point where he sat on one side of a pond, I sat on the other, and he offered me pick out of this pond that was only an invite only place. Nobody had been in there, and he said, you can pick 50 pieces out of here. I was like, give me a net, fill the bowl up, fish swimming past, and then I'll pick a fish up. I'd look at it, put it in the bowl, and he'd just be sat there on the back of his heels watching. Saying nothing, just watching. Right? That is actually quite intimidating, that I'm opposite somebody that is absolutely master of their game. And I'm fairly novice in comparison. Right? He was looking, one fish he popped up, he said, why? Well, I looked at it, it's like, why what? He said, why are you picking that? I explained what I'd seen, and he went, you missed one thing. I was like, what? And in the knuckle of this kahaku that I pulled up, there was a small, tiny patch of benny. And he said, look on the benny, look on the peck. And I went, it's a perfectly good fish. He said, yes, it is. But you've got the pick of the pond. There's other fish in there without that. Put it back. All right. And that then changes your eye. Right. So rather than accept substandard or slightly off high quality, just take the high quality. Whereas before I was told nothing wrong with these, perfectly sellable, good fish. Agreed. Put that in. However, that person is telling you to have a better eye for detail. And that's exactly what I've done.
Yeah. Gaz has put there, the koi farms out there produce millions of average quality koi for the market and very few pieces that are the number one quality like S Legend.
Of course, when you look at that, but I'll come back onto the reasons why he is not only schooling me, he is also not wanting to sell substandard fish that was in that pond. Okay, you're never going to get a standard of S Legend, like, bearing in mind the millions of fish that are produced. That's one fish that people know. Okay, that's because it was classed as the most beautiful fish in the world, and it sold for $1.8 million. All right, so that's one fish out of millions. Right? Yeah. It's not a good comparison. What they do produce is lots of very good quality fish and lots of average quality fish. The average quality is still good because when you look at the culling that they've gone through, it is still only the top 2% of that spawning that has hit their ponds. The difference is when a dealer goes there, to an extent, but when a dealer goes there, you're right, actually, I would say billions, right? When a dealer goes there and they are paying money to pick from a pond, right, they are expecting you to pick the best.
Yeah.
If they are good. Now, the reason for that is, one, they want you to come back. Number two, they don't want their fish to be seen to be at the price that they will sell them at if they're substandard.
Yeah.
Some may not. If I said to Kobayashi, I want console, okay, what he will do is he will scoop a net and he will make a box of 70 up. Where he's looking, he'll go, that's a good one, that's a good one, that's a good one. Click, 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 click. Right, 25 of them Fisher class is really good quality. The others, too good, good box filler. And the difference for that is because you can pay anything from 4 to 10 times as much
Yeah.
by picking a pond yourself.
And so quantity outweighs the quality. But it like
Yes,
when
it does, Gaz, you're right, it does. Right. Bearing in mind quantity, right, and that's where the price comes in at when you're buying koi. If you're going to throw, right, I know how much certain dealers have paid for Tozai, right?
Yeah.
It goes into tens of thousands of pounds sometimes. So you're paying for the quality.
Yeah.
But in order to get that one fish at that price, you've got to be able to produce X amount of other fish that won't reach the price point. That is the best fish out of a spawning, for example.
Well, it like say you'll get, I don't know, say 1,000 fish from a certain farm. Out of that, you might get four or five that you see as exceptional, and all the rest is still great quality. But you always find the obviously what you would call like the icing on the cake for you. So like you say, it's all down to the eye of the beholder when you're picking fish, isn't it? Same to like if I went to, you know, any koi shop anywhere, it's what my eye picks out of that pond, and I go, oh, that's good enough for me because it's got the body, the skin, and the pattern that I'm after. It's
okay. So let's look at this, right? You pick a fish, you get it to 65, 70 centimeters, right? That's a perfectly good carp that looks good in your pond. You may have only paid 40 quid for it. It's still a very good carp. It's fit, it's healthy, it's got a pattern that you like on it. That's all that fucking matters at the end of the day. If you're going into the show scene where you want to try and win awards, you're picking a different type of fish. And believe me, the Japanese people know what's a top quality fish. They will make you pay for it because it's a smaller percentage of fish that get to that standard.
Yeah.
It's the same with anything in livestock, whether it be a dog, cat, lizard, frog, whatever it is. The rarer it is and the higher the condition and the standard of it, you've got to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's no different.
Well, it's like what Gaz put an earlier. Obviously, I have to disagree with you. You know, I run about life around the koi pond. In that case, there'd be millions of Ferraris on the road, not millions of runarounds that are on the road. It's the same thing. It's the sort of the budget that you can afford, and also it's the eye of the beholder, isn't it? People can afford to get the top of the crop, and others can't. And it's just the way everything is, isn't it?
I mean, it is. I mean, the one above that, mate. The comment above that one, Dave. Right. This Aoki, when I was up there, he had nothing for sale. He had fish, but nothing was for sale. Right. He'd sold what he wanted to sell. Right. However, everything is for sale. So as soon as you say, how much is that? It will immediately give you an absolutely ridiculous fucking figure that you know you're not going to pay for that fish. Unless you
because they don't want to sell it. That's what you do if there's
want to sell it, but it will go at the right price. So if he gets rid of it because he wants it, it's precious to him. Right?
Yeah.
It's anything, isn't it? It's like the Mac that I sit on now. Right? If someone offered me 10 grand for it, I'll go, there you go. It's not worth 10 grand.
No.
But if someone offered me 500 quid for it, I'd say, get to fuck, it's worth more than that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to keep it. How much to buy it off you? 2 grand. Okay. There you go. It's not worth 2 grand. It's worth half of that.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same sort of thing. They will price you out irrespective of what it looks like, they've got a vision for that fish and they want to use it for whatever reason they want. And that happened to me when I was at Aoki. I was like, how much is that fish? He said, it's not for sale. I said, everything's for sale. How much is it? Fucking 6 million. It's like, yeah, you can keep it. You know, that works out about £24,000 for a Nisai fish. You know?
Oh,
Well, it weren't worth it. But if I wanted it, I had to pay that amount of money.
is that yellow dragon a part of my homework?
Okay, it can be. It's actually quite an easy one to find the answer to, Gaz.
And then Chris put there, quality is their breed, bread and butter. Quality is their bonus.
Okay, so in my old job, I used to have to go to court quite often. And I was against a barrister one day, and I said to this guy, why are you even here? And he said, it's guys like this that I'm representing today that pay the money to fuel my Ferrari. Right?
Wow.
So to him, he was like, I don't really know, but I take this work on because it gives me the bonus in order for me to concentrate. Like he was being paid to sit in a court while he's working on someone else's case that's paying him 4 times as much money. So it's
Wow.
just a side hustle. And it's the same. They've got to raise money somehow.
Well, everyone has, haven't they?
I think he meant quantity is their bread and butter and quality is their bonus.
And then she put then crafty truth.
Yeah, 100%.
Mr. Tate has got me on the question mark. Damn it! So I don't, this is between you lot. I haven't got.
A fully scaled Aragoki. There's a clue.
She's put there. I meant to say quantity. There is their bread and butter. Quality is their bonus.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when the spawn stuff. Like you say, out 1 million fry, maybe only 1,000 or 10,000 they might keep, and the rest get culled for whatever reason.
It's 2%. It works out an average of 2%.
It's not good, but it's the way that it has to be, doesn't it? So then people can get they want and what they see.
They reject based on what their objectives are, what it is that they want to produce. All right. A lot of the fish will be disfigured at some point. A lot of the fish will have, missing a fin or a bent backbone or one eye, etc. They look for all of
sorry.
but they look for all of that, and they're the ones that go at the shoot. And this is what I tell people. Any creature that produces as many eggs in wildlife has to, in order for the best ones to survive.
Yeah.
And it's just about rebreeding. All right. So when they come out as small as they do, a percentage in a wildlife pond would get ate. A percentage would survive. That percentage, another percentage would get eaten, or they'd die young, or they would be deformed to a point where they couldn't feed themselves properly.
Yeah.
Then they get eaten. Right. Their objective is to get as big as they can, as quick as they can. But in order to be able to reproduce again, they've then got to be stronger. So, and they're doing that on a natural selection process. There's no natural predators to thin them down, so they do that bit for them. What's really good is that they actually put all of that cold stock into fish food.
Yeah.
Because fish feed in your fish food is fish.
Fish meal based, isn't it?
Because every fish is a predator.
Yeah.
Every fish will eat another fish.
It's crazy, isn't it? But it's the way that it works. Only the strongest survive, don't they, when it comes to the natural world?
Nature.
Has anybody got any more questions? Well, there you go. But it's been nice having you on, and that probably wraps up the show at the same time there as well. So it's been nice to have Daz on Vicky on, and obviously yourself as well, Crafty.
Well,
So on that note, guys, you all keep calm, keep coy.
oh,
I'll catch you on the next one. Oh, God, here we go.
quick plug. Can I plug?
Of course you can.
28th of April. Keep your eye on my Facebook page, my YouTube, if I put anything on it. But Perfect Aquatics Facebook page, Gaz's channel as well. My grow out event is with DK Shearer. Okay. They will cost £175, but there is added benefits down at the shop if you choose to partake. All right, so
So
keep
there
an
you
eye.
go, an extra plug, like you said.
Thank you, mate.
It's not a problem. So right on that note, guys.
28th of April, sorry.
There you go. So on that note, guys, keep calm, keep coy. Until the next one, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Cricket bat.